Greetings from Podcastville. It's Thursday, January 10th. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. They strive to make financial services work for everybody, not just the wealthy. Learn how to invest as you build your portfolio. Uncle Joey's going to hook you up with this, okay? Robinhood is giving the church family a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. Sign up at churchrobinhood.com. That's church.robinhood.com. The church is also brought to you by MyBookie. Listen, NFL playoffs are here. Basketball's here. It's time to get in on the action with MyBookie. Don't be that guy that's got no rooting interest as your relatives and friends sit around watching the game. Not this year. Not this year. Not Super Bowl 53 around the corner. It's really the most wonderful time of the year right now. You got college hoops starting. You got the playoffs. You got basketball. You got hockey. What that means is you can make some money. So do me a favor. Go to MyBookie right now, and they'll offer you a 50% deposit bonus to make sure you got a nice bankroll for the bowl season. Use promo code CHURCH when you deposit to activate the offer. Again, go to MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid. You understand me? Number 2, the church is also brought to you by 23andMe. We now live in a world where we have access to the data that gives us more personal insights on who we are, from how we came from, how well we sleep, how many steps we take per day. Shouldn't our health resolutions be customized also? 23andMe allows you to go beyond ancestry to access more personalized insights based on your DNA, from health predispositions to your lifestyle choices. What I'm going to do is this, okay? Buy your 23andMe health and ancestry kit today at 23andme.com/church. Again, that's 23andme.com/church. Again, 23andme.com/church. Kick this motherfucking mule, Lee. The machine in the motherfucking house. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year, Joey.
How are you?
I feel fucking phenomenal.
You got the DiMaggio gene is still on?
Mickey Mantle?
Mickey Mantle, whoever.
DiMaggio gene?
Some guy that's dead. I want his gene. That's good.
I got the Mickey Mantle jeans flexing right now.
Yeah, right. Good. Yeah,
I'm fucking, dude, I start my tour tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
I've never been more excited I couldn't sleep last night. I was excited to be on tour. And you know how it is? What it is we travel so much just doing stand-up, and you'd watch people, like usually in the alt community would be like, this is my tour. And you're like, it's just the road. That's what we do. It never ends. But this fucking tour, it has like a finite time out there. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'm just going to go hard as fuck for 4 months and just go. And this is everything you work for in this business. To do a big theater tour, hit New Zealand, Australia, Europe. Dude, I can't fucking wait.
You taking the family with you to Europe?
Leanne's flying out tomorrow because I got a tour bus. So Leanne's coming out, and she's stocking the tour bus, making sure it's got everything that I need. Like she's gonna buy blender, buy like sheets and blankets and stuff, chargers, lock it down, and then I'm on the tour bus all weekend. This weekend, Portland, Seattle, Calgary, Vancouver, and then come back for 2 days, and then I'm gone for the rest of the month.
So you fly to Seattle.
I fly to Portland with Leanne tomorrow morning.
Okay, and then from there you take the bus.
Yeah, two shows every night.
Are you excited?
Dude, I'm really excited. I've always wanted to have a tour bus. I've always wanted to be this, and I looked at it this way. You know how you've always taken good people with you on the road, and so you've always kind of had a family, like a community, and going with Joe. I never did that. I always tried to foster the communities of comedy that I went to. So I was like, if I'm going to Omaha, I'm like, bring in a good local feature, because he's going to let him get the work. You got to give back to the community.
I do that too.
You do that too.
Yeah, certain markets, I bring somebody.
Yeah.
And there's certain markets, I know that there's a good crop of feature acts.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's great, and then sometimes it sucks. And then the weekend's long, and you're adding shows, and you don't know the guy, and you're not hanging out, and maybe he's got issues. So this year I'm taking guys with me. We're all staying on the tour bus together, and I looked at it as just a party.
Who you taking with you?
Jesus Trejo.
Oh,
fucking
great guy.
Murderer, bro. Murderer. Shane Torres,
Okay.
Dave Williamson, and Dusty. God damn it! I always fuck up Dusty's name. I think it's Dusty Slade. I don't think it's Dusty
And you're
Slade.
switching them up.
Yeah, switching them up. So it's like 1 week on, 1 week off for them. And they'll fly in on Thursdays and leave on Mondays. And then I'll probably, on a couple of them, I'm staying on the bus because we've added a Monday show and then no Tuesday show, but we're doing a Wednesday show. So I'm just going to stay on the bus and drive to the next city. And it's great, dude. The girls are going to fly out and do a weekend with me and stay on the tour bus. They're bringing 2 friends because I got 6 bunks. So I'll have 4 little girls hanging out in the tour bus and they're going to love it. They're going to fly in Friday night. Grab them Friday night. They'll go hang out on the tour bus. We'll drive Saturday, go do something fun during the day. They'll hang out that night, Saturday night, and come home Sunday.
Now you're taking your family to Europe with you.
Girls are coming to Europe. All the girls are coming to Europe and Australia with me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but we're going to go. So I'm like, the European tour, I'm going to have them fly out to London or Paris. Maybe Paris. They've already been to London.
Sure, Paris is such a safe place. That's why I want my daughter. I want her in Paris. Because you're always thinking. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to hang out for like a week, and then I'm going to start the tour, and they're going to come to like the first venue. And same with Australia. Australia, I think I go to I do Sydney, and then I do New Zealand, and then I have like 4 days off. And so they're going to meet me in Sydney, and we're going to do some stuff in Australia. I can't wait.
You documenting any of this? Have you considered it?
I thought about it, but I didn't want to turn it into. I wanted to enjoy the moments. I'm going to be on Instagram a ton, you know that, and so I'm fucking all over Instagram. So I'll put it on Instagram. I'll probably shoot my own stuff, shoot it, edit it, put it on YouTube, and then I'm going to set up a podcast on the bus. So I'm going to do some podcasts with people like Diamond Dallas Page. We're doing a podcast in Atlanta, so it's going to be work too. But I can't fucking wait. The only thing that would make this better, and we've always talked about this, is like me, you, Tom, Ari, Joe, all us doing a tour like that together. That would be the dream, But until the time when that happens, this is what I'm doing.
How much easier do you think it's going to be for you to not have to fly to go to the airports, just to be on the bus?
Fuck that. Can I tell you my favorite part? That's amazing. That is when I did Australia last year. I was burnt, Joey, to the point where I was fried. Because you know me, I drink if I fly. So I have a couple drinks before we took off, have a drink in the air, land, try to get some rest, go to the theater, do the show. And that was every single fucking day. And that's what this tour would have been like. 2 shows in Portland, I get done at 1:30, right, with my meet and greet. I get back to the hotel room at 3. I'm still popping because of the show. Got a flight at 6 in the morning. I would have died. Leanne pulled the plug. When they started adding shows, Leanne goes, fuck this. Someone quote out a tour bus. He's going to die if we put him on the road like that. And so I can't wait that. Here's the best part, right? So I'm bringing in 2 suitcases full of clothes, right? And I'm leaving them there. I'm leaving them all on the bus. So then when I fly in to fly out, when I fly out from Vancouver, I just show up a pair of sweatpants. Remember we switched over to sweatpants? Show up with a pair of sweatpants, some headsets, my phone, a jacket, my wallet. I'm done. No suitcase, no fucking nothing. Just walking into the airport with it on your phone, just ching, walk right through, fly home, go straight home. You got all your clothes at home, all your clothes on the tour bus. Dude, I watched Ralphie do that tour bus and it made no sense to me because I was like, but other than he was fat, but now I look at it and I go, oh, that's a nice feeling to know that you got a home on the road and then a home at home. I can't wait, man.
It's so funny, Bert, how when I got here in 97, I stuck around for a while, and then I ate a bag of dicks, and I decided that I needed some more road work, that I really needed to go and hone my craft. And I would leave for 10 months.
Yeah.
10 months one time. I would leave in November and come back in April. I would ship my clothes to Josh Wolf's house. Wherever I would go to a city that had a good Kmart, I would buy new clothes and ship the clothes.
Yeah.
I had the Walkman with the CD player, and I learned how to live on, and I did it. This is when I did plane and trains. Yeah. Plane and buses, I'm sorry. I only did 1 train from Miami to Myrtle Beach, but everything else was done on a bus. I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the unknown, for me, it was really unknown then because there was no dates.
There was no internet the way it was.
No. I would start with like January 10th in El Paso, and then I'd have a week off, and then I'd have a week in Toronto, and then I'd have a week in Miami, and then I'd have 3 weeks off. When I started, it was like that. But as I went along, every week I picked something up. Yoder had a fallout, Milwaukee Improv. Do you remember the old Green Bay Improv?
No.
There used to be a Green Bay Improv.
For real?
Yeah. Who goes to it? In the summertime, they're not going to go watch you.
Yeah.
And in the wintertime, they're eating cheese, watching the fucking Packers, talking about the Packers all week. I think about it. When was the last time you went to Green Bay?
Dude,
go ahead. I remember. Go ahead. Give me time. Go ahead. I'll wait and listen. No. They don't want to know about comedy. They just want to tackle people. They tackle you at the airport in Green Bay. Nobody goes to Green Bay. Have you ever thought about that?
Dude.
No, when was the last time you talked to anybody who said, I did this theater in Green Bay and it was fantastic?
I'm doing Green Bay on this tour.
Are you really? Yeah. This is the first time.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've never been to Green Bay in my life. I've always wanted to go.
I took a fallout in October.
Yeah.
And they actually had the balls to do a Sunday show. and I heard, and they won that week.
Yeah.
Plus, my buddy played for Green Bay at the time.
Yeah.
So I could talk shit. We played, his name was Frankie Winters, and we played CYO basketball together. So I did okay.
Yeah.
It's the people that, you go to Green Bay on a Sunday game, Saturday night before they have a game, they're animals.
Yeah.
Back then, when Brett Favre was throwing touchdowns, you couldn't, there's just some cities that comedy just, you know what? Yeah, we like the ha-ha and he-he, but we're here to tackle motherfuckers. Like, we just think about football.
I thought Hawaii was going to be like that. Have you ever done the Blue Note in Hawaii?
No, but everybody says it is phenomenal. Everybody's shooting specials in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They're fucking going
Joe Coy just shot a special in Hawaii,
Joe Coy. Gabriel's there this week.
I thought going down to Hawaii, I was like, they were like, book me in Honolulu at the Blue Note.
Are you doing Montana on this tour?
No.
Again, nobody goes to Billings.
Yeah.
Billings just sit there waiting like a virgin. Like right now, if I had my last handful of money, I'd open up a comedy club in Billings because I know I would get my investment back that quick. Quick. It's overwhelming. It's like what this guy's doing in Utah. What's he doing in Utah? He's got 3 comedy clubs. Keith Stubbs, who I love, the club, Wise Guys, is becoming one of the best clubs.
Best clubs in the fucking country.
In the country. Utah, Salt Lake, Mormons, don't go there. They got 9 wives. What are you fucking kidding me? Everybody wants to laugh.
Yeah.
So pretty soon, watch. Somebody's going to pop Billings, Bozeman, one of those towns in Montana. And it's going to be, didn't you tell me about Spokane?
Dude, Spokane's fucking
there
awesome.
There you go, the Tri-Cities. Those are the Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
Spokane, something else.
What's the Tacoma?
Tacoma's on the other side. That's
I've done Tacoma too. I like that.
When you do this, years ago, there was a lady called Donna Richards, and she booked out of Portland. And she booked a volcano room, and it was in a hotel, and it was in some part of Oregon, but it's on the other side, opposite Portland, real close there. So this Spokane and another city is all you have for civilization.
Yeah.
So they called it the Tri-Cities. My God, when I moved right before I moved to LA, I met a girl at that volcano room on a Friday night. We swapped a little spit. Then she came back with her girlfriends on a Saturday night. We swapped a little spit. I was a gentleman. I think we took it out. I ate a monkey, but no sex. There was no condom. And I go back to Seattle, and the phone won't stop ringing. It's this broad, and she's really pretty. I mean, the girl was a fucking knockout and really sweet. And one day, 4th of July, she drove up from wherever she lived, 3 hours away. And me, her, Josh Wolf, and Malia, Josh's kid's mother, had like a 4th of July party. And they're like, what a nice girl. And I'm like, okay. And something was wrong with me. I had seen this girl like 8 times, and I never went for the monkey. Like, she was that hot.
Yeah.
We had swapped spit. We had gotten hot and sticky from time to time, but we never really did anything. And one night we're on the phone having a conversation, and I go, yeah, next week I got to go to San Francisco. And she goes, well, what do you think if I drive you? And I go, that's okay. You want to drive? And I'm like, oh my God, she wants to drive me. I had to rent a car.
Yeah.
She's saving me $400 I go, if you want to drive. And I didn't think like I think now, or like you think when you're 40. I think, well, I was 30. It's a ride. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. You know, I enjoyed that. Sure enough, she shows up on time, cooler, sandwiches, sundress, looking like a goddess. And as we're driving to San Francisco, at one point, something comes up about a blowjob, and she looks me straight in the face. And she goes, you know, I'm really good at those, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, all right, when we get to the hotel, we'll see. So
I'll be the judge of that.
it's a Monday night open mic at the Punch. No, Sunday night was the Punchlines, and Monday nights was Cobb's, when that scumbag was up there. And he would make you sign your name on a list, and he wouldn't tell you what time you go up. And then he'd just come up to you and tap you on the shoulder. You know how many comics flew into that open mic and he didn't put up?
No.
Even though he told you on the phone he was
Who was
gonna put
this?
you up. He quit. He was an old guy that ran Cobb's. Real prick. And he was the one that told Ralphie, why did Joe take Ari and me on the road, that we were worthless. And we used to bust Joe's balls, and he had a crush on Joe. Because one day Duncan and Ari went downstairs to do radio with Joe, and that guy purposely brought a 2-seater. And he told Ari and Duncan he couldn't go. So Ralphie told me the story. I told Joe. Joe was like, come on, the guy wouldn't say that. I always knew the guy was a closet fag, for starters. So for months, every time we go to Cobb's, I tell him, how's your friend, Joe? I would just torment Joe. Joe, you know he wants to suck your dick. Like when he would come up, I go, Joe, you want me to stay? Like I would just, you know, like
Joe, you want me to stay?
Yeah, you want me to stay? I don't know what's going on between you two. And Joe was, hey, he's not gay. I go, Doug, trust me. I know, but that dude was a scumbag, and he used to run an open mic on Mondays before Cobb's burnt down. Because they Jewish Lightning, the first one.
Really?
The first one used to be down the corner in a warehouse by the chocolate.
Oh, really?
Guadalajara Square.
Guadalajara Square. What is it? No, what's the name of it?
The chocolate
Yeah,
place.
what's it? Ghirardelli. Guadalajara
Yeah,
Square.
whatever the fuck it is. I've been watching too much Narcos. And then up the fucking corner. Now it's up the corner. But they tried to light it on fire, whoever owns it, to try to get Jewish Lightning, and they moved.
Yeah.
But it was then. And then the guy at the Punchline, his name is on the tip of my tongue. He also told me on the phone, when you tell a young comic, you're going to put him up on the open mic, and you have a reference, Bert Kreischer. Oh, I love Bert. Yeah, Bert called. Come down Sunday night. I'll never forget him, too.
Yeah.
You would get there and say, what do I sign up? And he goes, there's no list. I'll put you up when I want to. And he turns his back on you and walk away. And you just stand there. You just stand there all fucking night. And he come up to you at one point and go, you're up next. I said, I'd give you 6, do 3. And you're like, I got a fucking hotel room for $40 that I had to beg and borrow for. Almost had to blow a guy. And fucking, you want to give me 3? I mean, that's what those 2 clubs were notorious for that.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So I said something to that guy. Like, you know me, I was crazy. And I had to say something to him. Like, hey, man, who the fuck do you think you are to pick us? You know, like, we don't have it hard enough. And he goes, get the fuck out of here. And I left. And then I saw him a year later at the Laugh Factory at the Monday Night Showcase. I was showcasing. And he was there with a bunch of, in those days, San Francisco would come down, 6 guys, and they would set up a showcase with Jamie Masada. And Jamie would decide who would make it. And then kids from Portland would come down.
Yeah.
I caught him at a San Francisco one. And he was bitching in the back that they wouldn't put his guys on. And I'll never forget walking up to him going, remember me, motherfucker? Did you see that 20?
Yeah.
And here you are sweating like a fucking pig. Don't feel good, does it? And he just fucking beamed at me, and I never saw him again. And I always asked, he's been out of the business for 20 years. Snatch or Scratch. Or he had one of those fucking singular cool names, you know. Seth or one of those fucking.
It's nice. It's nice. I mean, I guess it's nice when you see people that treated you like so much shit to go past them. But I have such a fucking needy personality that even the people that treated me like shit, once they come up and they're like, hey man, congrats on all the success, I go, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like, I have a hard time, like, and I don't think there's been that many people that have been complete and total dicks to me.
I let bygones be bygones, but it's the situation to me feels like this. You ever have that girlfriend you dated in college?
Yeah.
She keeps in touch with you.
Yeah.
And every time you go to Tampa, you take her out to dinner with her husband and your wife, and you're looking at her, and the whole time you're all giggling, ha 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 ha, drinking whatever wine, but you're looking at that bitch going, and when I used to tie you up and make you suck my balls like a savage, because you're looking at him, he's like, and he's kissing her, and you're like, ugh. She used to lick my asshole with that tongue, and they're at the table like, oh, we love each other. And you're like, yeah, she loved me too. Until I whipped her with a belt and made her suck fucking hummus off my nutsack. That, you know what I'm saying? Like you know you won. Yeah. Like this guy's trying to be a nice guy, but you're like, well, shut up, dog. I used to fuck her in the ass with egg yolks and throw eggs at her at the same time. You know what I'm saying? When you do that, then you come see me. You're over there playing like you believe this fucking dirty horse. She's an animal. She's a fucking animal. That's what it feels like when you see those people who doubted you now. Like, even though you're cool with them, now you got the upper hand.
Yeah, but Segura and I always talk about this. Everything feels fleeting, always.
What do you mean?
Like everything like the first time I started selling tickets, I remember calling Tom going like, how long do you think this will last? And he goes, I don't know, man. I feel the same way. Like you always feel like, do you ever feel like you got one over on people where you're like, I know I think I'm funny, but I didn't think anyone else would ever think I was funny.
All the time.
Yeah. I
saw at this comedy store last night. I went last night to the store. I did the main room, and I sat in the original room. And I watched like 4 or 5 comics, and there was 2 or 3 of them in particular that I go, I don't fucking get it, dude. Like, I don't get it.
There's been a few
But it's not for me that to judge or whatever. I just don't get it. But there's people who say the same thing about me, you know?
Yeah.
We all live.
Definitely say it about me.
I tell people all the time that we all start at 0 on the first of the month. You and me and Lee, we're all equal. We're all equal. And, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. And all you could do is do a good job. That's why I don't like shit getting in the way of my stand-up anymore.
Yeah.
When I go on the road, it's to do those 5 shows. Nothing else. I might go to a kickboxing class. I might do a jiu-jitsu class. I don't really want to hang too much. I don't really want to get involved in long rides. I focus on the comedy. I won't even sell shit no more.
Really?
Yeah, I can't see. I don't want to be outside in between 2 shows. There's enough mayhem going on in the hallway. I just want to go in there and give them the best show I could give them. So no matter what they think when they walk out, maybe I'll get them to come back next time.
It's so funny. Maybe it was Omaha. Were you just in Omaha?
No.
Wherever I just was, maybe Virginia Beach or I forget. They go, one of the kids comes up, because I do a meet and greet for both shows. It's just free. You don't have to pay for it. And one of the guys goes like, he's like, you're cool like Joey. Joey doesn't do a meet and greet, but like on the Late Show, he'll go out and hang out.
Yes.
You can go out and talk to him.
I'm just causing chaos.
Yeah.
I'm just causing chaos for the staff. And that 9:30 show now becomes a 10 o'clock show. And that, I think, is more uncomfortable. When I go to a show, it better fucking... When you go to the movies, has it ever been a fucking late? Are the movies ever late? No. The commercials run late. You got 10 minutes to play and put Parmesan cheese on your fucking popcorn at Lemley and whatever the fuck you do.
Yeah.
Then we got to run on time, too. Nothing bothers me more when I hear about a comic doing 3 hours and people got to wait online outside for 2 hours. Me, dude, I rip the tickets up and I go home. Okay? Yeah. I have plans. I have shit to do Sunday, and this comic wants to do 3 fucking hours. Nothing bothers me more about a comedy club that starts late. Nothing. Especially that second show. Because every minute that's late, it's 1 more minute that the headliner struggles. That's 1 more minute that they can have another shot of tequila. That's 1 more minute they could do a line of coke. Every fucking minute. That's why there's clubs I love, nice staff, but I can't work with them.
Yeah. Because
they're on fucking late time. 7 o'clock to 7:20. Now that means already, now it's a sold out show. So guess what? That show don't start till 11 o'clock. That means we're there till 12:30. That means that there's people that are so excited to see Bert Kreischer that they started drinking at 5. Yeah. And you know this, Bert.
I do.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, they were doing a thing called Ozfest. Okay? I'm 50. You're 40. The thing starts at 12. You and I both know we're not showing a New Year's show at midnight.
Yeah.
It goes till midnight. I think Ozzy came up at midnight, but it started at lunchtime. By 4 o'clock, I could have taken bets for puke puddles from how many people started at 10
easy.
getting overexcited. When people come see us, they get overexcited. Every one of us. I had a guy having 420 in Columbus. The guy fucking had a seizure from eating edibles. And they wanted to cancel the show. And I go, the show must go on. His friends wanted to see me so bad that they told him he's going to the hospital by himself. And they stayed there and watched the show. They came in with a fucking hospital room and they took him out like a bed. I remember going to concerts.
That's why
when meeting Bert Kreischer at 5 and doing lines of coke and a half a Quaalude. And by the time you get to the concert, you're out of your fucking mind.
Dude, that's every...
So I am counting on this club to be on time. I get 7:05.
Yeah.
I'll cut back 5 minutes.
That's why I started doing a 2-man show.
I'll cut Lee down to 5. Whoever's working with me down to 7. But that late show has got to start on time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, it comes out of the headliner's hide. Some guy's going to say something. They're hammered. That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to them. Can you imagine going to Denver and doing 2 hours and it's snowing out and people got to wait for you? It's the experience that blows.
I was at the KC Improv, and I'm on stage, and I'm hearing thunder and lightning, and so for the first show, and so I go to do my meet and greet, and then I'm like, "Hey, where's the next show at?" And they're like, "They're waiting in line." Everyone was waiting in the fucking rain, and I just went, "Hold on, wait, we didn't think this out better?"
No,
they're just standing in the fucking rain, and everyone came in soaking fucking wet, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
How would you feel?
I would have.
First of all, left. They should have a lounge.
They should
put those people in there. They should have a fucking lounge so those people could go in and have a drink. I don't want nobody outside. Lee, what do I tell you? I don't care. Listen, like Ari said to me the other day, you're going to be in New York for Danny Brown's show. I'll come up to Williamsburg. There's a barbecue place where people stand on the line for an hour.
Oh, fuck.
You're not going to see me there.
Yeah.
You're not going to see me there unless I get a Jewish fucking gold chain. I get one of those neck braces like Phil Leotardo in The Sopranos after he got rear-ended. Remember? He wore a neck brace. That's extra money. Because the neck brace makes you cut the line. People feel bad for you. You bring like a dog with you, and you close one eye. You know what I'm saying? I don't wait in line.
Dude, I can't wait in line. I can't wait. You know what else I can't do? I can't go to a place where you got to grab a table. Like where people are like standing over tables where people are eating, waiting for them to leave, and then they get up and they sit down there. That gives me fucking so much anxiety.
What do you mean?
California Chicken Cafe, where there's a line of people, right? And then all the tables are full, but there's still a line of, and there's no seating. You got to find your own table and get your own table. And people are just like just hovering over tables, waiting for them to get up. And once they get up, they sit down in their seats. They're like, "Dude, we got this table." That gives me so much fucking anxiety.
So then somebody has to come and wipe the table off while you're sitting there?
Yeah. No one's even clearing tables. Like, you ever go to those barbecue restaurants where there's not only is there a long line, but then there's not a ton of tables. So there's too many people in line for the tables they have. So the second people are waiting for a table. So once they get up, then people just go down and sit in that table. That gives me so much fucking anxiety.
Well, the waitress comes over and wipes it down.
No, like you go to California Chicken Cafe.
No, like he's talking about places where like you go up, you order, they give you the food, and you go sit down. There's probably not a waitress. Like,
there's no waitress.
The thing that I think it's even hard for me to understand, because anytime I get to go on the road, it's probably my first time in the city. So I'm very excited. You guys have been to every city how many times now? 15 times you've been to Austin?
Georgia's 14, so definitely 14 times.
Can you imagine that?
Isn't that crazy? I've been to Philadelphia, 14?
Did you perform? Where have you not performed in? The only place I've not performed in is there's 2 states, Hawaii and something else. Everywhere else.
I got Hawaii. I got Alaska.
I did Alaska. I did Alaska.
Chilkoot.
I did Alaska. I did Chilkoot Charlie's.
I haven't done like Vermont. Like that, like there's a bunch of like...
I never did Vermont either, I can't lie to you.
Like all up there, I never did.
I did New Hampshire, I did the other one where...
Maine?
Maine, when Bob Marley, the club was up there, the Comedy Connection.
He owns that territory.
I did Buffalo, Albany.
Did Buffalo, Albany.
I've done all that stuff, Rochester, Syracuse.
Never done Mississippi.
Yes, I did Mississippi. I did all the southern states. I got that out of the way just to make sure.
I've never done. I'd like to do Mississippi.
Have you ever done the Alabama Stardome?
Yep, just did it.
How was it?
I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, but Leanne's from Alabama, so I had a bunch of jokes like that. I was dialed in
because they have written that club off. When I first started doing comedy, that was like the top 5 clubs in the country. Now they say it's a little.
I think a lot of the clubs. I mean, from my perspective, and this is just what people have told me, and like that work at the clubs, is a lot of the clubs are urban. A lot of the clubs are all just black comics coming through. A lot of the Funny Bones, that's all they have. Their whole lineups are just black comics. And I think the Stardome's one of those places where it just sells better to a black community than it does to a white people. Because I think guys who used to do that club jumped up to theaters real quick in that area. Like Bill Burr, I think, we used to do that club all the time. And then he left up to theaters, and then guys like Segura just went in and go, well, fuck it, I'll just do a theater there. Because that's what they're accustomed, though, I think. But yeah, a lot of the clubs have gone urban.
Are you ready for these theaters? Are you excited about doing these theaters and whatnot?
Yeah.
Does it feel different for you? Do you feel the difference from the stage to a theater?
I'll tell you I don't feel a ton of difference, but I changed my stand-up a tad bit and got less crowd interactive when I think probably 2 years ago, where I used to lean on audience interaction. When I was younger, man, I'd just get up on stage and I was like, I'll do the first 15 minutes fucking around with people. And then they'll be like I can go back to them every time I need a joke. You know, I'm talking about Reggie. And I stopped doing that. And just started working on my material. And probably 3 years ago. And so now when I do theaters, I'm much more comfortable. I couldn't do theaters when I was younger because I didn't know how to not do crowd work.
I got to tell you something. We're friends a long time, and I tell you how it is. I don't give a fuck how people get insulted. Your Netflix special was sensational.
Oh, God, I was waiting for you to insult me.
It was in the top 5 specials of the year.
Oh, thanks, Joey.
I feel that very much in my heart. That's number 1.
Thank you, man.
Number 2.
You have no idea when you say that.
You've miracleized me because you made a big jump in your stand-up. There was years ago, I saw you one night, and I'm like, Bert's got problems. Like, I left there, like, you had no shirt on, you were 3/4 in the wind. I don't know what the fuck you were talking about. And then I saw you a second time, and you had done a complete 360. You had talked about Isla and going to school, and, you know, she's not the bright one, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then I see you a couple of weeks ago, and you flip it on me again with a gun, and you pointed the gun at your wife. And, you know, then you ordered a machine gun, and then the special was sensational. You know, Leanne's faces when she's fucking and all that.
Yeah.
Just little things that you really worked on, and I saw. And that's a bad habit. That's a bad habit as a comic, is talking to the audience.
It's a really bad habit.
Guess who's really good at it?
Who?
Me.
Yeah. I was about to say.
And I won't do it.
Yeah. I remember seeing you talk to the audience a long time ago. Probably like 11 years ago at the Improv. And you were, I think you were big then, and you were just hands up here. And I forget the fucking interaction, but I'm in the back sitting next to Ian Bagg, who's amazing at crowd work. And we are rolling.
Oh, yeah. I'm really
fucking rolling.
I was lazy. So I wouldn't write material. After I left Boulder, when I got to Seattle, I went to New York. That's what happened. In 93, I went to New York, and I got impressed by it. Everybody in New York talks to the audience.
Dude.
Where you from? You a garbage man on Staten Island? Oh, my God, what's this smell like shit? So I picked up that habit in New York. That's why I picked it up. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And I kept depending on it. So I would have a 30-minute set, but I would really have 16 minutes of material.
Yeah.
And I would depend on 14 of crowd work. Let me tell you something. It's like shooting dice. You could kill a show. So my goal was to go in there improvising and then close it with material. And it got a little better, but it was still lacking. And then when I came to LA was where...
Dude, totally different.
You better not say a word to the audience in front of Mitzi Shore.
Dude, never.
Unless you're spectacular like Rick Ingram. You better not say a word. And you could see when a comic moves from another town where they have that bad habit.
Yeah.
In fact, a guy hit me up a few days ago. That's a dear friend of mine. He lasted a week in LA because he was opening up with that shit from the South. How you guys doing tonight? It's great to be here in LA. How about a big round of applause for the troops?
Oh.
That kills LA crowds. I have nothing against the troops. I have nothing against celebrating.
LA just doesn't work that way.
And then he started talking to the audience. And they,
what do you do for a living? And the guy's like,
oh my God, he did it at the Improv.
dude.
And it was a slow death. And I tried to help him out because he was a dear friend of mine. And I had Brea then. So I gave him a spot in Brea the following week. And he went down to Brea and he did the same thing. And it was the longest feature spot of my life. And when he got off, he told me some story about his relative getting sick. And that he had to go back and watch him. And I looked at him and I just knew that LA it took him, I know it took him a week to break him. I think 10 days. I know another guy that came, got an apartment, moved into it for a week, went to the Improv, went home, packed his bags, and went right back to New Mexico. And he still does comedy. And every 2 years, he'll hit me up with a Facebook or some type of email. Hey, man, I should have stuck with it.
Dude,
I'm fucking sorry.
When I got out here, I had a TV show. I've moved out from New York, but I had those New York tendencies of crowd work first. It murdered in New York. New York crowd work.
Yeah, they love it.
You could do.
They love it.
Yeah. And so I get out, and I all my TV shows are done. I hit up Aaron at the Improv, and I say, I need to really get on stage. I need to be on stage as much as possible. I'll do anything. So I'm not getting any stage time at the time. She goes, Drew Carey's doing Wednesday nights. I need a host to do 10 minutes and then bring on Drew Carey. He's going to do stand-up, and then they're going to do Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I'm like, awesome. So I get on stage, and I remember first thing I said on stage, guy in the front row, I said, what do you do, sir? And he goes, I'm a TV producer. And I went, what? Really? I go, anything I know? And he goes, everything you know. And I went, wow, can you get me a job? And he goes, I don't know, man. Why don't you tell a joke first? And I was like, I didn't have, I was like, in my head, I was like, I need a Puerto Rican to enter the room. I need a Puerto Rican and a black guy to enter the room.
You wanted a missile to hit you in the fucking head, Doug.
I didn't have any fucking jokes. I didn't have one joke. I had a couple stories that I didn't know how to do setup punch. I needed someone to feed me some energy, and then I could feed it back with a joke. And I remember I bombed so hard. And Drew Carey was not in the room, but he walked in at the room at the end, and I had one joke that I told at the end that kind of did okay. And Drew Carey came up and he goes, "Great job, man. I'll see you next week." He didn't see it. He didn't see me bomb, and so I did that every week. And that night I went home and I wrote jokes. I wrote just just anything that was a straight up setup punch. I wanted something that would get me out of trouble, like something that would I'm trying to remember one of the early jokes I wrote, but you know what cops hate? When you touch their faces. Like just anything that was set up to get me out of things. And then when I went on the road, I got back into that lazy habit of like you could just go up and crowd work with murder, and you could, I'm telling you right now, I swear to God, the shift in my career was that machine story when Joe said. This is one of my favorite memories in this business I'll ever have. Joe said, you got to tell that on stage. And I was like, oh, it's not a stage story. He goes, no, you have to. And everyone listening right now, this is like episode 60 of the Joe Rogan Experience. He's like, everyone listen right now. You yell it out in the clubs until he tells it. You make him tell that story on the road. Call him the Machine. From now on, he's only to be known as the Machine. That next weekend, I was in Columbus, Ohio. I do a set. It's fine. Not memorable. A lot of crowd work, a lot of fucking with the audience. Killing a beer, shirts off, and I get to the end of my set, and this kid in the front row, they're yelling the Machine, and I go, hey guys, I'm not going to tell it. And this kid in the front row, I don't know who this kid is. He was an angel. He looked at me, he goes, hey Bert, you got to tell the story, man. We understand it's not going to be good, but you got to tell it, and we'll sit through it, but you got to tell it if it's going to get good. So just tell it, man. And everyone's like, yeah, Bert, just tell it. And so, Joey, I bombed for 15 minutes telling that Machine story, and I got done, and they were at the meet and greet. They're like, hey, You did a good job. You got to tell it next show, man. You got to tell it next show. I told that story for, I want to say 4 fucking years where it just bombed. But once I did that, I figured out how I could write for myself. I didn't need these like, there was these coverall. I'm gonna say this. I don't mean it disrespectful, but there was a coverall Dane Cook approach to comedy that a lot of us guys took. A lot of us guys had those jokes like, you know what's fun to do? When you walk into a room, you do this, that, and then you tell your buddy, punch him in the dick, and you're like, "Ah, what's up? I'm out, bitches." And that was like the premise of writing jokes. You know, I had a lot of them. A lot like, you know what happens when you know what you do when you're in a fight with your wife? 12 words. Say, "I love you. You are right. You win. I love you." Whatever. And then you go back in bed with her, and that night while she's sleeping, you cut her hair. Like it was almost like fun boy comedy. And I had a departure from that fun boy comedy, and I really started. And Ari, I think Ari got obsessed with storytelling, and he started his storytelling show. And you could go in and tell a story, and it was a different way to write for yourself. That shifted everything for me. And now I'm looking at material, and I'm going like, you know, you look at the way Burr and Rogan and all the greats, you know, they challenge themselves every special to be a little different, write a little differently, add maybe an act out or a nuance. Like when I saw Rogan, by the way, I've never known Joe to be like a physical comic, but when I saw him do that pterodactyl bit with Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner and be on that stool, and I saw that, all of a sudden it freed up my head. Like, oh, I don't have to just stand and deliver.
No,
I can do whatever like. But you look at your.
Did you watch Sebastian? Oh, you wanted to store this? I was watching Sebastian.
Dude,
he burnt 1,000 calories.
His new special is going to be fucking insane.
He burnt 1,000 fucking calories.
Dude, he's been one of the biggest comics in this country. One of the top 10 earning comics. He hasn't had a special out in 3 years. All that shit's just off Showtime. Shish off Showtime. When his Netflix special drops, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with that guy. He
sold 4 shows out at the Garden.
That's just Do you remember when we were younger and you go, can you imagine adding a show? Can you imagine selling out a weekend? Just selling out a weekend at a club. The seat's $230. That was like a fucking big achievement. And then we're all there. We're all selling out clubs. And then you look at a guy like Sebastian, 4 shows at the Garden. That's 80,000 people. 80,000 people know who Sebastian. I'm going to be dead honest. I don't know if I've sold 80,000 tickets on this entire tour. Like every club, every theater I'm doing is like 1,800, 1,000, you know, like in between there. 80,000 people in 2 nights.
And what could he do in Chicago? Like 2 nights later. Dude, this is what I'm saying.
That is fuck. And from such a unassuming.
Would you do the Garden?
What?
If you had the opportunity to do Madison Square Garden as a comic, would you do it?
100%.
I don't know if I would do it.
Oh, Joey.
If
you could sell out the Garden, just to have that moment where you walk on stage and I
would die. Because I grew up in that place.
Dude, can you imagine the feeling?
How many Harlem Globetrotters did I go into that? Because my birthday's on February 19th. It always lands on President's Day. So from the age of 4 to like 13, I made my mother take me to Harlem Globetrotters every year. My mom was so annoyed that by the time I was 8, she started paying somebody to take me. Like she was like, I can't see those motherfuckers.
How great would it be if Joey did the Garden and came out as Meadowlark Lemon, just in a Harlem Globetrotters outfit?
I went to see something there that I never felt. I went to see a Ranger Islander game.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I was there for Rutgers against North Carolina in basketball when Michael Jordan wasn't there. Michael Jordan wasn't even dreamed of that. It was Michael Corrin and Phil Ford, and Rutgers had James Bailey. I used to go to the Garden to see Julius Erving on Christmas Day against the Knicks. I mean, do you understand my history with this place? I saw AC/DC open up for Ted Nugent at the Garden. I saw Keith Richards and the fucking New Barbarians at the Garden. So for me to just walk in there and perform, like, I don't know. I don't know if the stand-up thing. We get lost in translation.
No.
That's what scares me about all those big things. That's why I asked you earlier about how do you feel in a theater compared to a club. This is a theater tour, and I'm proud of you. You did a ton of work, and you deserve it.
Thank you.
Do you like Cobb's, for example?
Yeah.
I love the people who run Cobb's. I have nothing against them. I don't like performing at Cobb's. I don't have control over my audience at Cobb's.
I know what you're saying.
At the punchline, I could dick smack them. It's 180 people. You can just whip them if they're talking. Shut up, cállate.
Yeah.
And bitch slap them. There's rooms where I have control of the audience. Have you done the Parks Casino in Philadelphia?
No.
It's a theater. It's a casino. Fucking perfect.
Really?
Like there's a bunch of rooms that are big, but they still give you that small feeling. The
Wilbur
Theater.
I was just going to say the
Wilbur
fucking Wilbur.
Theater, you think you're at fucking Johnny's Mambo Room.
Yeah.
You think you're in front of 200 people. You think you're in front of 28 people. But then you look up and you go, I'm not even looking at that.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
scared of heights.
The first time I did the Wilbur, I went up, I had never done a theater. I'd never done it like on personally, never sold a theater. And so I go, this is probably 3 years ago. I go up, probably 3 years. I go up to the thing and I go, I want to go up to the top and see what it looks like from the top. Opener's on stage and I go all the way up to the top and I look out, I'm on the very top balcony and I get a Tito's and soda, right? I got it in my hand, I'm doing one show. I'm looking over and I'm like, oh, this is fucking amazing. And then I realize, and then some lady goes, Bert? And I go, yeah. And she goes, oh my God, it's Bert. And then everyone in the top center was like, you're the guy we came to see. And I'm like, oh, I guess I can't just hang out in the fucking balcony.
No.
But that is an amazing. I had Leanne, the next time I did it, Leanne came with me and I sent Leanne up. I go, walk around, like take a look at this place. Chicago theater is pretty insane. That's 3,000. And that place, there's a bunch of places that I'm like excited to do, like the Tabernacle in Atlanta. Like I'm like, oh, I'm fucking can't wait.
I'm doing the Tabernacle this year. I'm looking at when you're in Boston. You already sold out 4 shows in Boston, right?
Yeah.
They're already sold 4?
Yeah, I think so. So
Yeah.
it's, it's weird because it's sold out, but then there's single seats available. So people can
The
still
best
get
thing they tell you
tickets.
it's sold out, and then they tell you there's 50 tickets left a day.
Yeah.
It's just 1,000 stories. It's just 1,000.
Vancouver,
fucking stories.
Sunday night, like both shows sold out. And then they're like, hey, we've added 100 tickets to both shows. And I was like, well, hold on. Do I need to sell those? And they're like, yeah, if you want to. I was like, where did you add them from? And they're like, it gets really confusing, especially like ticket pricing and all of that. Because there's ways I wouldn't mind ticket pricing to go. Like I wouldn't mind as a consumer, meaning like if I went and saw your show and you said you could get any seat or you can pay a little extra to sit on the aisle. I go, oh, I'll pay extra to sit on the aisle. If you could go, you can also pay a little extra and you get in first. I'd be like, oh yeah, definitely. I want that too. Like, hey, what else can I add on to this? Like that's I actually have trying to set up a meeting with Ticketmaster to talk about a way to price my tickets because there's certain things that as a guy who would go to a theater that I would like to sit up front. I wouldn't mind paying more money. But then I guess they say that really fucks with your pre-sale because your pre-sale is all like when you go on pre-sale for these theater tours, that's rewarding your fans, like the people that follow you on Instagram and listen to the podcast. They buy them in pre-sale because it's not released to the general public. It's just you going, they're on sale right now. If you're a fan of mine, this is the reward you get as a fan. Is like I'm letting you know now you can go sit up front for the exact same price as the guy that sits in the balcony. So, but yeah, I think I'm curious to see how this works. You know, it's the first like legit big theater tour I've ever done, and I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how certain material goes over. You know, I'm interested to see if I can fuck around as much as I do in the clubs, like because I can workshop a joke in the clubs and get away with it, and in a theater, I don't know. When you got 1,800 people, like you said, you got to whip them into shape and make sure they're listening. So. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the waitstaff raffle. I got something going on with that. I want it to be a party, bro. I'll tell you what I did last night. This is
Well, the kid in Oxnard said he won the raffle.
Yeah.
Our wait staff guy said you gave him $800, whatever. Do you in the theater? There's no wait staff.
I got an idea.
Okay.
I got an idea.
Yeah, because in the theater they have to go all the way to the back and get a fucking beer. There's no wait staff in the fucking theater. You know,
I'll tell you what I'm doing. Okay. By the way, I haven't thought this out fully. This is just if anyone's listening, this doesn't happen the way I want to for whatever legal purposes. Just know that this is where my head's at. So I had a really hard time with the meet and greets because I like doing meet and greets. I think I like meet and greets. Like if I went and saw you, I would definitely want to come up to you and go, "Hey man, I thought you were fucking amazing." There's part of me that is that guy. You know, like if I see a band, if you told me I could meet Jeff Tweedy after a Wilco show, I'd be like, "Oh please," I'd pay anything. But I don't want to have people pay to come see me and do a meet and greet. I'm not going to charge like $300 to go come backstage and meet me because I feel like that's not our fans. You know, our fans are the ones that are literally like, "Hey man, I'm gonna dip out on my Netflix bill next month to make sure I can go see Joey live or go see Bert or Tommy live." So what I'm gonna do is, and by the way, don't hold me to this, but this is what I'm doing. I'm trying it tomorrow night in Portland. I'm going to raffle off. I'm gonna put a raffle box up front. You get a ticket. You can buy as many tickets as you want. Every ticket's $1. And at the end of the show, I'm gonna have them backstage pull 50 ticket numbers. And each of those 50 people, or 25, whatever the number comes out to be, can bring a +1 backstage and say hi and take a picture. All it matters is they raffle off get that number. All you need to buy is one ticket for your chance to win. You can buy more tickets if you really want to do it. And then I'm going to take all that money in the box. I'm going to pull one of the numbers and then just give that money to a fan at the show.
Who doesn't get to come see you, maybe?
Yeah, like just go, and you don't get a meet and greet, but boom, here's your ticket. You get all the money from the raffle. I don't want it. I think that would be dirty. If I took that money, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. But to give it back to a fan, so like theoretically someone comes to my show and wins $5,000. How fucking great would that be? And then the bigger it gets, because people, I know me, I put $200 in if I went. I go, fuck yeah, I want to. I want a chance to win the money. At the end of the shows, when you're doing the Tabernacle for 1,800 people, you could do like pots of 40 grand.
How great security walk them to their car.
I know. It's just, you bring a girl up on stage, you go, you don't get the meet and greet, but here's $10,000 in cash. How fucking great would that be? Right?
Fuck you, bro.
This girl will be like, "I'll be coming to see you next year, definitely."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm bringing friends too.
Yeah, so I thought about that last night so regardless, I'll do the raffle for the meet and greet because I want it to be fair to everyone. And if you want to put in more money in the raffle, but that's what I think I'm going to try it tomorrow night in Portland on the first show and just see how that works. See what the right number of meet and greet people is so it's not overwhelming. It can run smoothly. And then see if I don't know. I talked to my business manager about like if that's a tax exemption or if I'm running a illegal gambling racket. Like you can't just go into certain cities and go, "I'm giving away 40 grand tonight." So you know me. I'll videotape it. I'll put it online, and we'll see how it works. I'll be doing that in Vancouver. 2 shows, guys. We're doing it with Loonies or Toonies. What are they called? Boonies?
Loonies?
Yeah, Loonies and Toonies, right?
Yeah, Loonies and Toonies.
Where's Loonies and Toonies?
It's Canadian money. It's $1 and $2, isn't it?
It smells like maple syrup regardless.
Is that why part of the reason why you're doing a lot of dates? Because for me, like the part that was a little not frustrating but hard when I did like the Foxwoods with Joey is it's hard to just do one show. Like it feels like you don't like you're just barely getting warmed up. Like you're doing a lot of shows. So like
no. The plan was just to do one in everywhere, and then they sold out, and then immediately everyone's like, "Well, you're already there. You want to add a show?" And Seguro was the first one. I mean, I lean on Tom so much. I bust his balls. We both bust each other's balls a lot. All of us have been so. You're the one that got me out of Sunday shows. Tom's the one that whenever it comes to money, I always run to Tom. And go,
well, I see you working Sunday shows, so I didn't get you out of them.
No, not this tour. But Tom's like, that second show is where you make your money. When you add a show to the theater.
No, that's where you make your money in the theater.
Because you got to rent all the shit.
They're there already.
Yeah, you got to rent all that. So if you do one show, you don't get the lion's share. But if you add that second show, all those expenditures are already paid for. So the second they were like, "Hey," I remember them calling me. We went on pre-sale, and you do a big radio tour. So I get done the radio tour at like 7 a.m. Girls are probably 8, 9 a.m. Girls are in school. I go to take a shower. I'm going to take a nap. And Leanne comes in, and they're like, "Oh, you sold out Boston." I was like, "Wait, it just went on sale like an hour ago." And she goes, "Yeah, you want to add a second show?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." And then Dorfman called me, and Brian Dorfman, and he was like, "Hey, man, I think you're going to have a good tour." And then that afternoon at like noon, they woke me up, and they're like, hey, they want to add like 13-second shows. And I was like, okay. Because you're already there. You make that money, and then you're like, okay, this will be a good tour. And then we added a second show to every fucking market. And we had 4 in some, 3 in some. But then it turns into the thing where that's where I had the flip in my brain. I can let this overwhelm me, or I can turn this into a party. I can get myself a tour bus and just go, my goal isn't, I'm not going to just try to do a cash grab. I'm going to make this fun for myself and really enjoy it. And just enjoy it like if you told me 20 years ago, hey man, you're going to do a world tour. We'll get you a tour bus and you can bring your friend. You can bring some really great comics to open for you. I'd be like, oh, this is how I want to do it. And so I was like, that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to enjoy it. And so like, I think in St. Louis, I'm staying for a Monday night show. We're doing a Monday night show. I think maybe in Minnesota too. And you're just like, fuck it, man. I'm in. I had a flip of my switch too. I think I did 8 or 9 shows in Brea the other weekend. I just said, hold on. Don't get overwhelmed by 2 shows. Just this is the job. Yeah,
I like 2 shows.
Yeah, I like 2 shows too.
I also like Thursday night. I love going in on Thursday, doing 1 show, doing 15 minutes extra and trying shit.
Right.
And feeling out the room. That I do enjoy. But I do enjoy 2 show nights. Sundays I had to give up. I don't care what you pay me on a Sunday. I can't do it no more.
That was the biggest change.
I cannot do it. I cannot sit there all day. And people, you don't know what life is until you're sitting there all day. You have Sundays, but you're in this fall. You're in the spring.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be. It's like when I did Will Turn. The fucking Yankees were in town when I did the Wilbur. And Sunday, Miami was coming in.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, well, why don't you stay for a Sunday show? I'm not going hand-to-hand combat with drunk people. They got to know how much, you know how many millions they made that weekend? You know how expensive our hotel room was?
Yeah.
They were $400, $500 hotel rooms because the Yankees are coming to town. They fucking eye gouge you. You know, you have to. I like touring, but I don't like egg on my face.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you hear on Monday? Did you hear about this guy? He ate shit in fucking Florida. What's the first thing you hear on Tuesday? Fucking last time he was here, he did 13 tickets. You know, so everything I do, I want it to be done a specific way.
It was perfect, man. You told me that, and I remember immediately. If you have that Sunday show, I mean, just to put it in perspective for those that don't know what we're talking about, Thursday show you're flying in for. You're flying in on Thursday, no press. All you do is land, take a shower.
Or no, there's a lot of people flying Wednesday night.
Yeah,
but that's a fortnight away from your family.
I fly in. Thursday.
That's a fortnight away from your things. For you to be an effective stand-up comic, which for years I didn't do these things.
Yeah,
I wasn't smelling roses. I was too busy doing it, and I don't know why Terry's still with me. Because the first 3 years, I let her know to her face that she did not hold a candle to comedy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about your birthday. Valentine's Day is just another day. My birthday could go fuck itself.
Yeah.
Christmas, wipe your pussy with that and all that shit. Because when you're a real comic, you don't think about those things.
Oh, yeah.
When you're 30 years old, you have no responsibility, no girlfriend, no wife, no kids. The holidays are over. People calling you and going, hi, we're coming to LA for 10 days. That's great.
Yeah.
But I'll see you Sunday night at the Fourth Wall. What are you talking about? I thought we were going to dinner and going to see Mickey Mouse. Go see Mickey Mouse with your mother. That's what this becomes. It becomes, if I'm living away from my family, and if I'm doing this, going to clubs every night, don't start because there's a Laker game, don't do this. I keep, when I was from 97 to 2003, I was not a very nice person. I was a nice person, but my focus is, I don't give a fuck about Bert's birthday party. You get Josh Wolf over here right now. I hung out with Josh Wolf tight. Ask him if I ever went to any of his parties with his cousin. When Scott Wolf was, every Saturday they had a party. Go ask him.
Yeah.
My job was to be a comic. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I catch an occasional Dodger game. I go to the beach once a year, you know. But I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like,
can't you come to Orange County daytime? No, because I might get an audition.
Yeah.
No. How many times you're on your way out to go dick around, and all of a sudden your agent calls? They want to see you at 2:30. They got to come all the way back, get the fax machine, get this. I don't go nowhere.
Dude, no one understands that. Georgia was born on June 7th. We took her home June 8th, and I left June 9th to go work. I was like, "This is what I do.
This is what you do."
Yeah,
People do not understand that, and then they get mad when shit don't flip your way. You're 30, Lee. You got no wife, no kid. Far from what you believe. You don't need to sleep. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to be there tomorrow morning. You're a comic,
dude. You're
a comic.
There's that old Jerry Seinfeld story he told in Comedian. Do you remember that?
No.
Is a bunch of like, I think it's either comics, a bunch of comics, or musicians or whatever. It's a story. It's an old story. I'm gonna fuck it up, but this is the gist of it. Bunch of late night acts like us, guys who work at night. That's what they do. Their bus breaks down in the middle of the winter, and so they got all their gear and they're walking down the street. When they walk up to a house and everyone's inside the house like a family, and they're all sitting by the fire having cocoa and watching TV, and one guy looks at the other and goes, "Can you imagine having to do that every night?" Because I got the best job in the fucking world. This is, I've been obsessed with this lately, but like, I have a brain that all it does is think about comedy all day long. All day long, all I get to do is think about comedy. Yesterday, I was laying in bed, and all I thought about was writing jokes about glory holes. That's it. For an hour, I reworked at every angle. I just laid in bed, and Leanne comes in. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "I'm working." That's it. I called up Stanhope. This is one of my best Stanhope stories, and it changed the way I started writing. I called Stanhope one time. It's like sun setting in L.A. Sun's already probably down in Bisbee. And he answers the phone. I say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Having a grapefruit and a vodka, having a cigarette, and trying to think of some goofs." I said, "What?" And he goes, "Good, think of some goofs. I'm trying to write a knock-knock joke." He's a fucking grown man, and he's just trying to rewrite a knock-knock joke. It's the beauty of this job is you hang out with a guy like Norm Macdonald, and you watch his brain work, and you go, "That's all he had to do." Dude, Bill Burr and I were hanging out the other day, and he goes, "Can I just tell you a joke?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." It's one of the fucking funniest jokes I've ever heard. And he goes, "Yeah, Norm Macdonald told it to, Gilbert Gottfried told it to Norm. Norm told it to me. I just told it to you. I thought you'd enjoy it." And you're like, "That's our job. That's our job. Is just to fucking think of jokes. That's it." Oh, come on.
I love it. I love the whole process of it. I love A to Z.
I love this. I love this.
Weird. I love podcasts.
Dude, I love that I'm sitting at where we had a meeting right before this. Me and Leanne and my mom ended up going, and the guys are running late, and so I text you. I go, "I'm running 15 minutes late." And then the guy's like, I was like, "I gotta go. I gotta bounce." And he's like, "Oh, you gotta get back to work?" And I go, "Yeah, kinda." And the guy goes, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a comedian." And he goes, "That must be nice." And Leanne goes, "Oh, he's just going over to Joey Diaz's office to do a podcast." And the guy goes, "You know Joey Diaz?" I go, "Oh, that's my afternoon. That's my afternoon is I just get to come over here, hang out with you guys, bullshit, giggle, and then go home, have a glass of wine, get in the pool with Isla." I fucking love it, dude.
I leave here, pick up Mercy.
Yeah.
Take her to karate at 4. And then tonight we're going to the Spaghetti Factory. Not the Spaghetti Factory. We go to our restaurant on Wednesday night, Italian food, which is god horrible.
Yeah.
But she loves it. I sit through it and fucking pray I don't get syphilis. And we come home. And I'm going to watch the R. Kelly thing.
Oh.
But 10 years ago, I'd be doing 4 spots tonight.
Oh, bro. I wrestle with that because
I understand what I'm saying. I had to stop wrestling with it.
I wrestled with it this week.
To a conclusion.
This week.
To a conclusion. You got to be at the store on Tuesday night.
This week I said no. I literally these last couple weeks I know that I'm going on tour hard. That Jessica would give me a text and be like, "Do you have any avails?" And I was like, I'm trying to spend time with the girls because I'm about to hit this tour. So, and I told Adam, I said, "You're not going to see me for a while, and I can't hang out before the tour because once I'm gone on the tour, I'm gone, and I want the girls. I want to be able to teach Georgia how to slide. I want to take the girls out and do stuff. I want to see movies with them for a little bit." So it was rough, man. I've been looking at the lineups lately because I get them on Instagram, and I'm like, fuck, I should be there tonight. I should be. That'd be fun. It's just all bullshitting around in the back. I saw the other day it was like D'Elia, Rogan, and Tommy. And I was like, and you. And I was like, I see the pictures that Troy Conrad posted, and I go, fuck, I want to be in that green room. Just bullshitting.
Listen, man, I can't do 6 nights a week no.
No.
I mean, I'm trying. I don't even know how. I don't remember falling asleep last night. I don't remember falling asleep last night. I got home like 11:45. I dicked around the office for about 30 minutes. I smoked some fucking pot. I made notes or something. And then it felt like I was up all night. And then it was 5 a.m. And then I had to pee, and my wife was already out of bed. And then I heard the door open. I heard, "Bye, Daddy." And I got up and gave her a kiss, and I told her I'd see her later and shit. And I'm embarrassed because I like being up early. So I woke up at 8. 7:50 was when she leaves for school. But I can't do that 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
You know, there was a day last week I had to take like 3 naps in the daytime. Like 3 days in a row, like from going out at night. Like just those gigs in Oxnard and shit. That shit, that's why I cannot. I love my agents. I love that my agent has the ability to send me around the world. If you want to get booked, call my agent. Tell him I'm going on vacation. If you call Justin and tell him you're going to Mars, he'll find you a job in Venus on the way to Mars. I've told him this. We've laughed about this. That it's like worst thing you could tell my agent, like call him up and go, "I'm going on vacation." "Where are you going?" "Connecticut." An hour later. "Listen, I got you a date there." I don't want a fucking date. I just want to see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you go on vacation with your family and you got to do a date, it's usually that night when you're having the best time. Like your mom's there.
Yeah.
And now it's 7, you got to get up from the fucking table and excuse yourself. And you can't cancel because there's 2 shows already sold out.
Oh.
And you're like, this blows. So that's why, like, when I went to New York this last time, I didn't take a fucking comedy show. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing.
I remember those days when we'd go to we have a lake house in Alabama, and we'd go there, and I'd get in the car, and I'd drive 2 hours into Atlanta and do a spot at night, and then drive back. And Leanne would be like, "Do you really have to leave?" And
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
When that vacation shit,
yeah,
I don't want to do a gig for money, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there and it's 9 o'clock and the in-laws are in bed.
I know what you're saying. You don't want to be locked down and committed to it.
And the baby's tired. And I'm sitting there and there's nothing on TV and there's a pizza place that has an open mic. You bet your fucking ass I'm going to walk to that open mic, get a slice of shitty pizza, and tell jokes and meet the local comics.
Yeah.
Why not? That's phenomenal. That's one thing. That's one thing, to be sitting there and you go up to your daughters and go, "You want to play Monopoly?" "No." "Oh, honey, what do you want to do?" "You want to?" "No, I'm going to go do that." And all of a sudden your in-laws like, "Oh, we're tired."
Yeah.
"Let me go see what the fuck is going on the open mic scene." You walk down to the corner, there's a coffee shop. You open up that local entertainment area, and sure enough, open mic, poetry night. I see poetry night, I'm down there. What kind of poet are you? Don't worry about it. I'll show you when I get on stage. I'll show you your poetry when I get on stage. You know, the other day that somebody told me they went back to Boulder. We were at the store, and somebody goes, "We went back to Boulder." You're not going to believe it. They closed Penny Lane.
What was Penny Lane?
And you ever have those things like, I don't even know how to describe them. I think that they affect. It's one of those places in your life that when it closes, it actually does something to your heart. Something memorable to you. A candy store when you grew up at. The people owned it, the family, the 3 generations. You know, something. For you was a pizza place. You were telling me there was a pizza place in your neighborhood. That if one day your mom calls you and goes, "Guess what? Mr. Margiano's closing the pizza place." You're like, really? Like, that just took the wind out of my sails. That's why I would go when I go home and I see Bert. You know, like when you go to Tampa.
Yeah.
Like I go to Margiano's. I'm just making up a name, by the way.
Caesars in New York.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, down in South Tampa had the best. The first place that taught. In Florida, we didn't have pizza the way everyone else did. But it had New York-style pizza with a crispy crust. And he'd throw it in the oven. You didn't see places like that. And he'd sprinkle Parmesan and oregano on for you on a slice of cheese. Every time you got the spinach and tomato and the cheese. That was it. Every time. Dude, Caesars in New York in South Tampa. And then I went down with I was with I think Leanne and the girls, when the girls were young, we're driving around. I go, "Do you want to have the best piece of pizza you'll ever have in your life?" She's like, "Yeah." I drive up to it and it's gone. It's like a fucking Quickie Mart for pills now.
Well, this did something to my heart. Penny Lane was a coffee shop in Boulder. Have you ever been to Boulder?
Yeah, I love Boulder.
This is 90, 88, when it was very hippie-ish. So I get on stage in 91. I'm trying to be a comic. There's no comedy in Boulder. I was in the halfway house with this dude that was older. If I was 30, he must have been about 50. He was an old bank robber or some shit. I think he's not a bank robber. He was a safe cracker. We even talked about it a couple times. He told me how to crank different safes and shit. He was a very entertaining guy, Jewish guy from New York.
Yeah.
He must have been 50, but he had a fucking girlfriend that was 26 and just banging. And she was the manager at Penny Lane. Penny Lane was a coffee shop, one of the first coffee shops, way before Starbucks. And behind it was the Harvest Restaurant. And Penny Lane, they had poetry night. And I would go there, because she would give me drinks for free. So I would go there, put $2 in the thing, and she would give me like hot cocoa or whatever. And they'd be up there like, so I ran and I ran. And I ran into a mush filled with roses and all this stuff. So one night I said to her, I go, listen, do you mind if I go up there? And she's like, I don't know. The guy that runs it thinks he's fucking Shakespeare. I mean, the guy really had the hat with the Pepe Le Pew thing and everything. And I go up there and just unleash a barrage of pussy and Godzilla jokes and Chinese people running. And they had to cut the show. They're like, stop. This is a poetry night. And I go, what's the difference? Just let me do 3 minutes. And he's like, well, you're insulting some of the people. I go, well, I'll clean it up a little bit. So he goes, no. He goes, listen, man.
Godzilla and pussy and Chinese people running away.
He goes, you seem like a nice guy. He goes, just do me a favor. Come to the midnight one. There's a midnight one on Fridays and Saturdays. They would stay open all night. This is when it was safe.
Yeah.
Dog, you know how many times I went there and there'd be 40 people listening to poetry at 2 a.m. And I would go up. I'm talking 1990. I started in 91.
Yeah.
So this has to be 91, 92. Because one day they told me not to come back no more. Like one night she wasn't there and they're like, listen, just don't come back no more. Just don't come back. You can't come back there. But I don't know how many sets I did in there and bombed.
Really?
Like just went in there to bomb. Like I was already predetermined. I'm just going to be a failure and I'm going to go in there and bomb. They told me the other day they're closing the place. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys. It just broke my heart. I took so many bombings in that place.
They did that with the Boston Comedy Club in New York. When they closed it, I went, fuck. I thought I'd always be able to come back there.
Now, isn't it reopened?
No. They recreated it for Pete Holmes' show. But they didn't reopen it. It's a wine bar, I think. No? I don't know. It's the same with Laugh Stop. Do you remember Laugh Stop in Houston? Man, when that place closed, I was like, fuck.
The original one?
The original one in Houston.
Gray.
Yeah.
Gray Street.
Yeah, it was on Gray Street.
Oh my God.
They said when we talked to Netflix, and you don't know what your budget's going to be when that you get on. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be much, but they said just ballpark. What if you could shoot your special anywhere? How would you shoot it? No, price isn't an option. I was like, I'd go in and I'd rent that restaurant for a week. That now is the Houston Laugh Stop, and then I'd rebuild this. I'd rebuild the stage.
It's still there.
What do you mean?
It's not. They never tore it down, and the restaurant closed, and they only used the front part for the restaurant, so the thing remains open. They were opening it for a few weeks. Jimmy Schubert did it. They were opening.
Are you serious?
Some comic talked them into it, but you couldn't cover the nut. Some comic went in there and said, "Listen, it's just sitting here. It's there. All you gotta do is go in there and put the lights on." The whole fucking thing, and you're back in business.
How does Comedy Central or someone not shoot a bunch of specials in there? Like just a bunch of guys who started there and grew up around there, and like what was your home club?
Well, it wasn't that. That was from 97 to 2003. If you didn't work the Laugh Stop, you weren't shit. The Houston Laugh Stop was the hip place to play, and what had happened was Tom Rhodes' show got canceled. And Mitch Hedberg talked him into doing it with him, a co-headlining spot, and that just leveled it out after that.
Yeah.
And Stanhope went in there, and Rogan shot his CD in there.
I put my first CDs from there, yeah. Because they had the capability to record.
Yeah, they would tell you when you come in, you want to do a CD this week? We'll tape it for you. You're like, really?
Oh, and you could say anything in that room.
Except George Bush.
Yeah, you couldn't talk shit on George Bush.
I told my wife that you go to Austin and go, fuck the Bushes, they can suck my dick. When Mrs. Who just died?
Both of them just died last year. Too.
Yeah.
But when the old man died, I go, it's really crazy how you learn about geography and jokes. In the old days, if you went to Austin, you could talk shit on the Bushes and shit. I remember going on a ride. I remember being up on stage in Houston, fucking lit on Jägermeister, doing quotes from The Godfather. Like after every 2 jokes, I would go, Michael Corleone did this, Michael Corleone did that. And then I would do 2 more jokes and go into Biggie, Warning.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck is this?
Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack it on, and now I'm yawning.
In between those 2 things, I said every horrible thing from those 2 things. I used all the N-words from the Biggie song. I used all the Michael Corleone shit. And I remember I had him in hysterics. And I said something about George Bush, and the room just froze. Like, you can't recover. In those days in Houston from George Bush joke, like political comics that died a slow death in there. These guys walking around today would have been dying a slow death in there with political humor.
Did you ever do the Amarillo Comedy Club?
Yes, I did.
With the Moran brothers?
No. I knew the Moran brothers. I knew Kelly very dearly, rest in peace. I knew him from Seattle before he ate the pills or whatever the fuck he did, because he always did something.
Yeah.
He was good friends with Chard Hogan, who in turn was best friends with Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg and Chard Hogan were the first people to ever rent a Volkswagen bus and go across the country doing guest sets.
Really?
And that's how Mitch Hedberg got all his work at first.
Kelly Moran and I worked together at Sacramento at Laughs Unlimited. And the lady there was, Leslie was a booker at Laughs Unlimited. And Kelly's like, hey, man, you're really funny. I was featuring you. He goes, I need you to tone it down. I'm having a hard time following you. And I was like, oh, sure, man, of course. So I dial it. Really, really cool. He's sober at the time. So we get done the first show. And he says to Leslie, he goes, hey, why don't you should not have him featuring. I can't imagine there's a lot of guys that can follow him. You should have him headlining. She goes, he's not a headliner. He goes, yeah, he's clearly a headliner. And she goes, no, we only hire headliners that headline other places. And he had a comedy club in Amarillo. And he goes, hey, what are you doing next weekend? And I said, nothing. And he goes, would you like to headline my club in Amarillo? And I said, I'd love to. And he goes, you're hired. He goes, he's now a headliner. Don't let him feature. Kelly Moran did that for me. And I went down to Amarillo the very next weekend. And I think, if I'm mistaken, and I apologize, but I think Kelly got back on pills within the time that I met him sober. And that next weekend, and he went into the Amarillo Comedy Club. He went into my backpack, and he took my joke book, and he lit a cigar in the back of the club, and started smoking a cigar in the back of the club, and flipping through my joke book, and he'd go, "Gay Elvis Dream. What's that joke?" And I'd tell the joke, and it was just him dying laughing in the back, smoking a cigar. He had his brother Kevin Moran. I think all of them were using pills. Kevin had broke his arm, had broke his hand. He had one hand that wasn't working so well, but he put 100 cigarette, the 100 length cigarette in there. He'd pick you up with one of those burning, and he had a comb because I think he was eating pills, and he'd comb his hair with the other hand while he drove, and he just feather his hair because it felt good because he was high. And he said to me the first night I worked, and they had their other brother who I used to party with all the time. I forget his name. He passed as well, but man, those brothers were fun as fuck, and they were good. I worked there every quarter. They brought me back because I like to party. And so they just bring me in. And I remember Kevin the first night says, hey, I don't care if you say the M word. I don't care if you say anything about Mexicans. I don't care if you say anything about anything. But if I hear one GD come out of your mouth, I'm pulling you off the fucking stage. GD? Goddamn. He couldn't say goddamn.
That's right down there.
He couldn't say goddamn. And then I remember Pauly Shore went down there and staged a fight. Do you remember that? Pauly Shore went down to Amarillo Comedy Club. This is right when all that shit, like MySpace was big, and he made it look like he made a joke about rednecks, and a guy got on stage and punched him.
Yes,
and
I remember sort of the story.
Dude, and it went viral. And then he came out and he's like, I staged it. It didn't really happen. And everyone was like, oh. But I was like, that's at fucking Amarillo. Yeah, that Amarillo Comedy Club, they had a bar right next door. Me and Kevin and Kelly's youngest brother, I can't remember his name. Man, we used to get fucking wasted there. And then Kelly's ex-wife would come in. That was
her name.
I can't
She's
remember.
still around.
Really?
She's still around. Sweetheart of a girl.
Gosh, she was awesome. We drank Coronas.
Remember, she was 20 in 1995, and Kelly was a grown man.
Yeah.
When we hung out with her, she was, and my favorite joke of hers was she did a, excuse me, I'm Janet Jackson, like that Janet Jackson line at the time. She would do, excuse me, something, it doesn't really matter. But I saw she dated Duncan for a while.
No fucking way.
Duncan fucked everybody in this town. Duncan gave all the shit.
Duncan fucked everybody. Duncan did fuck a lot of people.
Duncan gave milkshake to all those bitches. And then Duncan seems like a nice guy, but they would show up and Duncan would make them put balls in their mouth and whip them and do diabolical shit. And all these nice girls were like, fuck Duncan.
Duncan's got to have a sick game.
Duncan's a sick motherfucker, man. But I came up with Kelly, and Kelly was a great guy to me and whatever.
He was a great guy.
What happened was he moved to LA.
Yeah.
And he was gone for about 6 months. And here I am in Seattle cheering for him, you know, because I didn't have the balls to move to LA.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for the guy, cheering for the guy, cheering for the guy. He comes back to Seattle. He goes on stage on a Monday night, and he does the exact same 6 minutes he left with. And I was blown the fuck away. I did 1,000 gigs with Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly used me as a feature in Portland one time.
He was a great guy.
Las Margaritas in Portland, Oregon. There was a Mexican restaurant that was booked by Donna Richards.
Kenny was his brother's name.
So
Kenny
wait
Moran.
a second. So I'm telling you about that girl that I met, and I went with her to the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then we're headed down to San Francisco, and she tells me she's really good at doing that. So I go, wait till we get to the hotel room now. Guys, what I'm telling you, this chick was perfect from head to toe. Really pretty, really sweet, had a job. We start swapping spit. My shirt comes off. And she had 1,000 of those skin plugs. What do you call those
Skin
things?
tags.
Skin tags, where the thing is growth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were all over her back. So when you made out with her, every time you felt her back, all she had was those little skin growths. And I remember like her sucking my dick and me like petting her back. And going, what is this shit? Like I'm going through like a lump of thumbs. It was like going through a village of thumbs. And I'm like, I'm stuck with this girl for 4 more days. And I didn't know, there was no electrolysis then. There was no like there was no pimple Chinese lady on fucking Lifetime that pops that shit. She had, and then people saying, Joe, how many? She probably had 18 on her back. But she hit him. And she's like, it's a problem. If it's a problem, I'll get him fixed. Like, she had gotten dumped by every boyfriend because of this thing.
Oh, my God.
Like, she's like, all the guys I date freak out. And the chick sucked a tremendous tuba. I mean, she was a savage. And she was beautiful. And I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck. You know, I kept meeting her on weekends and stuff. And then I moved to LA. And I remember we spoke a few times. And she said she was going to come visit me. And we lost contact. And that was it. But she had skin tags all over her back.
Dude, when I was in first grade, I woke up one morning with 100 skin tags under my arm, right? First grade. Now you know I exaggerate stories, but I'm telling you, I was in first grade, I had 100.
You just woke up one day?
One day.
Now, you could take those off. A doctor can.
Doctor can take them off, yeah. So I have it's 100. And my mom notices them and says, what is that? I said, I don't know, it just showed up. So they take me to a doctor. I'm in first grade. And the doctor raised my arm, and I'm telling you, every single one of them, he put a drip of acid on, and it burned them. And it was so fucking painful. And what's worse is it looked like raw meat under my arm because they all came off. Like he'd put acid and then clip them off or whatever. And in first grade, I remember I got just about any present I wanted for I remember I got a Lone Ranger action figure. I got the Stretch Armstrong. I got all this shit because it was like raw meat under my arm, and I've never had them since. But I remember just fucking.
What causes those things?
Someone told me cancer.
I think it's like friction or something.
It's. I get sometimes I'll get them on my neck. I don't have any now.
No. A skin tag is something that comes out. You ever see those?
Yeah.
She had those things that come on, hair grow out of them when you become an old lady.
Oh no, a mole.
Mole.
Like the brown
mole.
Oh, it's so much worse as the skin tag.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's so. Oh, she had moles all over her back.
Yeah, you know those things that hair grow out of when you
Yeah.
She had those everywhere.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm trying to pet her back.
And
she's licking my nuts.
Leave your shirt on.
It was a nightmare.
Dude, I hooked up with a girl with a lot of moles, and she was gorgeous, but just had a bunch of moles. And she was probably a freshman in college. I was a junior for second junior year, right when I was back from Russia. And I hooked up with her, and she had moles, and she was perfect. But except she was too young to not know you got to get rid of those. You know, like she was just in high school. So now, you know, it's like your parents aren't going to say shit. You got to be an adult before you go, hey, I'm going to get rid of this shit on my neck. And so, but I couldn't get past the moles. The moles are different than skin tags.
Bert Kreischer, you and I have a similar thing, only I had more film and TV credits. And that made it even more frustrating. Because when I moved to this town, the guarantee was you shoot 4 episodes of a TV show, and now on the weekends you go out and you sell out.
Yeah.
It was that simple.
Yeah.
They didn't need to know who you were. They didn't need to know what your name was. It was guaranteed. When I first started going on the road with Joe Rogan, you know how many fucking people he used to walk?
Really?
I remember one specific argument he got into, me, him, and Chris McGuire. Some lady came up to me. She goes, "You're a fraud. You're not Joe from News Radio." And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me, lady?" And she's like, "What you were saying in there was, you know, misogynistic, whatever women get pissed off about." And he goes, "What happened? What happened? Nobody picked you to play handball? Get the fuck out." I mean, Joe was crazy too back then.
There used to be those
Joe
heckler
used to get a
videos.
lot of heat back then because they want to see the guy. I can't imagine what America's Funniest Videos guy did.
Saget, yeah.
God, you know, he's going up there talking about finger banging babies and shit.
Fucking the Olsen twins.
Yeah, and their family, you know, their families that are going to see him. Like, we're going to see the guy from Family Videos. He's going to show his cats falling off a thing. And next thing you show down there, and this is what it's eliminated. But to get back to the original conversation, I had the same problem, man. And I didn't know what the equation was. Nobody knows what the equation was. And I was just telling these guys in here the other day that I was doing the podcast with Felicia. You know, we're just feeling out our way, trying to keep it topical. No, we agreed on nothing topical, so it couldn't be dated.
Yeah.
So we were talking, and I couldn't figure it out. And Felicia got those black things to put in front of the microphone, spit catches.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that I just went into a story. You ever go into a story and you go into the story, you're there for the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm into the story, and I'm talking about mugging a hooker, and that she took a fucking switchblade out and went to cut Al. And all of a sudden, all 3 of my friends started punching her, and she was blocking. And she's like, "Get me out of the car." And I'll never forget looking at Felicia in one of the processes, looking at her, and her jaw was wide open. And I started laughing my ass off. And she called me that night and said, "Do you really want to leave this story on there?" And I go, "You know, if we don't have that story on there, that podcast goes kaput because the half hour after that, that's all we discussed." And that Sunday, it was 10/10 of 10. It was October 10th of 2010.
Yeah.
I was going to tape a CD at Sal's. I was not prepared at all. A special. In fact, Damon taped it. I was not prepared at all. I just was taking a hunch, and I put it on the podcast. I was taping a special. I thought 13 people would show up, and I'll never forget being on the 101 and the phone rang, and it being Sal going, "Bro, you got 100 and something people in there." I'm going, "Sal, why are you lying to me?" And he goes, "No.
Yeah.
You have 100 people in there." And me walking in there and them going, "Tell us the hooker." And that was it. Like, there was that. For a year, I had to tell that story.
Yeah.
For a year, I closed with that story, and some people loved it, and some people fucking hated it, but there was no deviating from the truth. There's no deviation from, you know, she got in the car, she took a switchblade out and went to cut my buddy, and all of a sudden we punched her 10 times. And I had it raw. Like, in the end, the truth was, we were just trying to take coke money from her.
Yeah.
So she was like, I ain't giving you my money. And we took it to the cemetery. And we're going to kill you right now. And she goes, okay. And she opened up her pussy, and out came a little ball. She took the, you have any bills on you? She took her money, and she hit it into like a Chinese, what's those Chinese things that people play with?
Origami.
It was like, thank you. Look at the 20. Lee with the 20. This guy came out and he covered his eyes. This fucking guy hasn't seen sunlight in weeks. He's Jewish. Look at the guy. Look at Ben Franklin.
He came out and he covered his eyes.
Is that Ben Franklin? What's his name?
Yeah.
What's his name? No, that's Hamilton. Who's on the 20?
I think Hamilton was black and wrapped.
No. This guy, look at him. He's still going, Jesus Christ. I haven't seen he goes, where was I? Alaska? But she had the money this small. Like this small. And she goes, you motherfuckers want my money? Oh, you can have my money. And she opened up her legs, and this fell out of her twat. And it was like a candied, you ever have those Christmas peanuts? They're like, you have that
hard
it was
coating.
$60 coated in like pussy juice and condom residue and fucking afterbirth and whatever she had in the pussy. And I remember we got in the car, and like we didn't want to touch it. We're like, all right, let's go to the coke dealer's house. And like going to his house and giving him the money, him going, ew. So we had to take the outside money and put it in the middle because it had the pussy juice and vaginal discharge. Thank you.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
Well, who does that trick? Oh, heads I win, tails you lose. Yeah.
Who's that?
Rob Crandon did that.
Oh yeah, heads I win, tails you
Heads
lose.
I win, tails you lose. You just heard that cocksucker? I got you with that a couple times. That heads I win, tails you lose.
God damn it.
Bert,
That's beautiful.
your special was phenomenal.
Thank you.
I wish you all the success. I wish you stay safe. I want you to promise me you're going to do a little workout when you're on the road.
Yeah.
And not stay in that thing. Take care of yourself. I've never, ever, ever called you an alkie or anything because you're not an alkie. The reason why I love you is you remind me a lot of my mother. Lee says to me, I don't know how you get smoked pot all fucking day because I'm a functioning fucking addict. Even when I was doing 8 balls till 7 in the morning, an hour sleep, you still got to go to work, bitch.
Yeah.
So I would get up and I'd still hear the twitches in my neck from the electricity, from the cocaine. We were talking about last night, it was Mercy's birthday. And Lee came over and we, at 6 o'clock, we got a Carvel cake. She turned 6 and we were talking about how I could never pass a driving test. Do you know that? I have never officially passed. That's how stupid I am.
Wait, you never passed a driving?
Never. The first license I got, it's like your brother owned the driving school.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was give him $50 and he just gave me a license like a beginner thing. So I didn't have to take the driving test, the written test.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was take the driving test, and that's how I got my New Jersey license. But then my Colorado license, I was telling Lee last night that Seattle, I failed 4 times. The driving test.
Yeah.
And in Colorado, I only got it because I lived in Basalt. And everybody would say, go to it's like living in North Hollywood and having a fucking a DMV that's always empty.
Yeah.
But people would tell you, go to the one in Hollywood, even if it's packed because that guy's an asshole and you're going to fail anyway. And I'm like, I'm not going to Glenwood Springs to take a fucking driving test. I'm going to that guy.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget walking in there, and I walk in, there's a guy with long hair, and this guy's got all his Army medals in the back. He's retired. He's still got the Marine hairdo. And the guy came up to him, like, with the driving test, and he looked at it. He goes, where the hell did you learn to spell? And the guy's, fuck you, man. It's true. Everybody says you're an asshole. I shouldn't have came here. So this is my minute to act. The guy goes, fuck you. You want to fight? He tells the old guy this. The old guy gets up like he's an old man. He still got up because he's a Marine. He got up like, yeah, I'll give it to you. And I got in the middle. I'm like, fuck you, punk. And I pushed the guy and I threw him down the stairs and shit. We got into it. Then I came up and the guy said, that wasn't necessary. And I go, I respect people. You can't hit people with white hair and all this shit. So he goes, shut up and take your test. I mean, the guy was just a capital prick.
Fuck.
He was like the guy from the platoon leader in Platoon.
Yeah.
Just the same way. Like,
Yeah.
Same attitude. Just yours and mine.
Yours.
So once I stuck up for the guy, after I took the test, like I had done okay or something, or maybe I got like 10 wrong. And he goes, let's see how your driving is. So he took me, I borrowed my friend's station wagon because you weren't allowed to bring fucking foreign cars to him. He would fail you automatically. That's how much of an American he was. They're like, don't bring a China, don't show up there with a Toyota or Nissan because he will fail you off the bat. Don't even think of showing up with a Hyundai.
Oh.
Because that's 20 years ago when Hyundai first came out, white people were on a rampage. Like people like your father's father, because Hyundai built Megs, the engines in Megs that drove Americans crazy during World War II.
Really?
Those Americans till this day still believe that. You know how many, when I was selling Chryslers, how many geezers came in and said, lift the engine on that. And if they saw Hyundai, they would go, buy. And Hyundai is basically in every car.
Really?
There's a piece of a Hyundai in every car. Hyundai is the number one engine builder. So you buy a Nissan, it's probably built by fucking Hyundai.
I've never owned an Asian car.
So that's why all those old Americans, when they come in, they would look at Hyundai and go, I'm not buying no fucking.
My dad would never buy an Asian car because of his dad.
Yeah, told you.
I just never bought an Asian
and
car.
I don't hate Asians. I don't hate
Asians at all.
It's just a traditional thing.
It's like, yeah, you either get an American-made car or you could go German. That's what my dad said. Like, not like set it down, but my dad either drove like a Lincoln or a Mercedes.
I won't drive German out of respect for the Jews.
Really?
Yeah, I will never get a German.
Oh, I love my BMW.
This fucking moron drives a Volkswagen.
You drive a Volkswagen?
Only in L.A. These
It's
Germans.
cheap. I got it a few
These
years
Jews
ago.
love their BMWs. Me, I still hold the torch. You understand me?
Yeah.
I'm not even Jewish.
Yeah.
I hold the torch.
Go to Israel. It's full of Mercedes-Benz. That's all they have.
Unbelievable. God bless their souls. They fucking sold their soul in Mercedes.
The taxis are Mercedes.
I would have a fucking heart attack if, like, one of my uncles was in Auschwitz and you showed up at my house with a BMW. I would fucking kick you out of there. Like, I would take it that personal. Like, when I see Auschwitz survivors on TV, like, I just start crying.
Yeah.
Like, when they're just being there for the week.
Oh.
So I don't want to deal. And I don't have nothing against Germans. I don't like mingling Germans and fucking. That's just a bad mingle. I don't like when there's a German in the room and a Nazi and a Jew in the room. In fact, The Exorcist, that's how the fight starts.
Really?
Because one of the arguments starts over when she comes down and pees. That's why she starts, because the guy keeps calling the guy a Nazi.
Oh, really?
In the beginning, the first scene where
I haven't seen that in a while.
And they're playing the piano and they're all singing. The butler is German, and one of the guests is Jewish. He's an actor, and he keeps busting his balls. How was it over there in the concentration camps and all this shit?
He's doing that to the Jewish guy?
To the German guy.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, the German guy takes the Jew by the throat and chokes him, and then that's the guy that falls out the window. He's a director, and they couldn't figure out who killed him. They ruled out the butler. So it was The Exorcist, because they twisted his neck and then threw him down the stairs. There's no way a woman could have twisted his neck. So they blamed it on the butler, but it was really Linda Blair, the devil.
Really?
I don't even know why I'm telling you
But
this.
you didn't finish the driving story. So you had the station
I
wagon.
got the station wagon. He gets in the car. He finally starts warming up to me. And he goes, come on, let's go off-roading. I'm going to show you some beautiful country, God's country. And he shows me these deer drinking fucking water and stuff. On the way back, he goes, I'm going to give you your license. Because I started telling him I'm going to be a Marine. He kept saying to me, what are you going to do with your life? I just finished robbing the house 2 days earlier. He's like, what are you going to do with your house? And I'm like, I'm here for residency in Colorado, and I'm going to become a fucking Marine and kill people. He's like, that's my boy. You know, and he started just yelling racist things. Like, just started yelling them in the car, like, kill everybody. Blacks, Asians, Spanish people. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, like, he was like fucking crazy, one of those guys. So that's how I got my license. I just remembered that last night when I was telling these knuckleheads.
Oh. Yeah, I had to take... Georgia's going to be driving in like 6 months, 4 months. Isn't that crazy? Georgia's going to be driving. I can't wait. Have a fucking designated driver. Call her at 2 a.m. I'm at the store. Come pick me up. I got school in the morning. Go fuck yourself. I pay for that school.
I buy you the car.
Yeah. I can't let that little kid drive. She's not ready for the world.
Who?
She's Georgia. She's a fucking...
It would be hard to start in L.A.
She is such a fucking sweetheart and a good girl. The day I called you,
Yeah.
I was just watching her. Now, where I come from, Bert, where I come from, Bert, when you see your friends' kids, you get up, you ask them how they're doing, and you buy them something.
Yeah.
You know, I saw her walk in with her little skirt on, you know, and I said, Georgia. And she turned around. She was with her girlfriends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she waved at me, and she's like, hi. And I go, I just talked to your father. I saw him. She goes, oh, you know. But she was with her girlfriends. And I didn't want to be Uncle Creepy. You know what I'm saying?
She told me. Because you called me and said, I just want you to know you got it. You did a great job with that girl. She's perfect.
I'm watching her.
Yeah.
She didn't know I was watching her. I was waiting for her to pop a cigarette out to have a heart attack or something. She was tutoring some girl, like they were looking at books.
Yeah.
And she was helping the girl get tutored. And when I went in to pee, I'm like, I should pick up her coffee or ask her if she needs something. But I didn't want her to think I was being Uncle Creepy.
Yeah.
So I didn't say anything at all. But I would do anything for Georgia.
I said to her, I think I called her that night. I think I was on the road. I said, hey, did you see... No, she goes, I was at Maria C. I saw Joey. I said, you did? I said, you say hi? And she goes, yeah, I said hi. I said, what was he doing? She goes, I think he was smoking marijuana.
That's why she didn't come over. No, I wasn't smoking. I was smoking cigarettes then.
Yeah.
I would go over there and smoke a cigarette with one of the writers. There's a writer that goes there and always asks me, you want to smoke a cigarette? So I think I smoked the cigarette with him. But
yeah. I think he was smoking marijuana. I go, yeah, you definitely saw Joey.
Are you scared for your daughters at any point in your life? Do you think about them when you're on the road?
Yeah. I'm afraid George is just such a sensitive, like, really, like, Georgia is the kid, for those of you that don't know. Like, I always tell stories about Isla, but George is the kid that when Mercy comes over to the house for Christmas Eve, Georgia tracks her the whole time, stays with her, plays with her, takes her into the room, remembers the shit that she had as a little girl, and goes, hey, Mercy, you want to try this? Hey, why don't I hop up on the thing and play the piano? And Mercy's like a comet. She comes into that house, and that is her home. She goes into Isla's room, starts going through her stuff, just walks around, comes out, talks to everyone, makes herself a plate, sits up on her dad's lap. Dude, Mercy is a comet. She's a lot like, she's a mix of Isla and Georgia. Isla had that energy, but Mercy's also super sensitive. Like, very like, there was another little kid there this year, and Mercy was taking the time to talk to her, make sure she's okay.
Fucking banged the head at the end of the night.
I know.
I'm sitting there, boom, and when you hear boom, you just
on a wood floor.
You just do the sign of the cross. I hope that ain't my kid. And the kid was in shock, you know. But it's weird when she comes over how
Mercy went, it wasn't me. No.
Georgia does take care of Mercy. Georgia has that sympathy. Isla don't give a fuck.
Isla, yeah.
Isla
locked her door. I go, what are you doing? She goes, Mercy's here. I gotta keep her out of my stuff, Dad. I go, Isla, open your fucking door. But yeah, the Isla, George is just so sensitive. She's gonna get her heart broke really bad. First guy she dates, she'll fall in love with and just get her heart broke. And I know that feeling because I'm that kind of person. And that's gonna be the fucking. We just got to get her through that first break.
Obviously, if you don't know it, Georgia is you.
Oh,
without the fucking Tito's.
Yeah.
Georgia is you without the Tito's. She's very level-headed. I could tell that's how you were when you were younger.
Yeah.
Does she walk to that fucking bus thing in the morning?
No.
You both drive back and
we drive both of them now.
I worry about my daughters, and I worry about what would happen.
Oh, Mercy's going to be so fucking fine. That kid's got that Oprah gene where, like, nothing's going to hold her back. I'm reading this book called Coddling of the American Mind, and they're saying the phrase that kind of stuck with me was this phrase about this, I guess, guy that worked for Obama said when they were talking about kids being oversensitive and getting outraged, and he said, I want to teach you to deal with adversity. I don't want to pave the jungle for you. I want you to be able to figure out the jungle. If I take all the weights out of the gym, it's no longer a gym. The weights are there because it sucks, and that's what you got to do. And there's certain kids, you need your kids to find adversity. And if I have made any mistake, it's been trying to protect my kids and not let them run into as much adversity. I think that's a big fault of like the kind of parent I am. I think Leanne shows them more adversity. Says, hey, if you want, go to Menchie's. You girls go by yourself. And I'm like, no, there's kidnappers out there. She's like, they're going to be fine. You did it when you were a kid. Isla's someone that can take adversity on the chin and deal with it. And Mercy's that same person. Mercy she's got your gene.
I don't think so. Mercy's very sensitive.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, she runs around our parties like literally like she's selling cars. Like she just is so rough and tumble. Do you remember one of my favorite stories? This is my favorite story about your daughter. We talk about this once a month. This comes up with my friends. 2 Christmases ago, I get drunk super fast, and I'm too drunk, and then so I go into my closet to take a nap. I take a 15-minute nap. I disappear for 15 minutes. I wake up, and I realize I need to jump in the pool. I need to like sober up. I'm gonna jump in the pool. So I throw on a Speedo. By the way, there's like 60 people at my house, right? Joey's family, all our friends, all the kids. I throw on a Speedo. I come running out, and I jump in the pool. And immediately Isla jumps in the pool. And then this kid Carter jumps in the pool. And then this kid Max jumps in the pool. And Georgia jumps in the pool. Everyone starts jumping in the pool. And all of a sudden, you see Mercy. And she's looking at the pool. And Joey goes, "Are you going to do it?" And she sprints up to the pool and stops. And she goes, No, Daddy. It's too cold. And Joey goes, "Come on, Mercy." And she goes, "Ah." And everyone's going, "Mercy." And she starts looking around, almost like Hulk Hogan, like, oh. And then goes, No. And then turns to Joey, smiles, and jumps into the pool. It is so damn cold.
What did she say before she jumped
What
in?
did she say?
"Hold my ring."
Hold my ring. Yeah!
She had clothes on, sneakers, the whole thing.
Hold my
and out of
ring.
the whole thing, she goes, "Okay, Daddy." She looks, she goes, "Hold my ring." And she jumps in, and we fucking died.
Dude,
Hold
the
my
fucking
ring.
place lost it. You got to realize there's 20 kids in the pool, and we got this one like 5-year-old on the edge. I mean, working the crowd like Hulk Hogan. Like, should I give him the pile driver? And everyone's like, "Come on, Mercy." And she goes, No. And then all the moms like, "You don't have to." And she's like, looks at Joey, "Hold my ring," and just jumps. The place went
said, "Hold my
fucking
ring."
nuts.
I thought because she was at the tip, and you could see her little fingers were moving, like she was nervous about it. She wanted to jump in. She had peer pressure on her. She wanted to swim. She wanted to prove a point. But I know Mercy's little head, something was going on.
Yeah.
And finally, she let us know, "Hold the ring."
Hold my ring.
Forget the sneakers. Forget the socks. Forget my underwear. Forget the pants I got on.
Yeah.
The shirt, the jacket. Oh, forget all that shit. It's just hold the ring.
Dude, that made us. And then this year she came over and I go, "Hey, Mercy, you jumping in the pool tonight?" And she goes, "Oh, no." Because she didn't know it was going to be as cold as it was. She jumped in and it's like 50 degrees. And she popped up just, that look you just.
When your whole body hits your fucking bones.
Oh no.
I worry about my Mercy a lot. I worry about how to raise her, how to, you see these girls in Hollywood and you've been here a long time.
Yeah.
And you see that hole. And you got to figure out how to fill that fucking hole.
Yeah.
When women come up to me and tell me they want to be a star, that's not normal. There's got to be a work pattern. There has to be all these things. And there's times I like her at her school, but there's times I don't like that school because of who else goes there.
Other than the parents.
And what they're talking about. It's like how Josh Wolf said they pulled this kid out of the school when he went to a kid's party, and the alligator, before he got killed, was there.
Oh.
Steve Irwin?
Yeah. He goes, "I went to a kid's party." When they went to Carpenter?
Yeah.
Because I went to a kid's party, and the guest was Steve Irwin with the alligators there. And he goes, and then I took my kid out of that school when he had a party, and they gave away bags at the end, party favors.
Yeah.
And the kid looked at the bag and threw it back at Josh. And he goes, "Last party we went to, they gave us Nintendos, like the games, or those expensive games."
Yeah.
And Josh is like, "I got to pull her out of that. We got to pull him out of this environment. But I try to toughen her up. I show her Narcos. She watches Narcos with me.
Yeah.
I had her watching Sopranos a little bit. She doesn't get the curse words. She won't say them. That cat's been dead a week. She hasn't said a word. My wife asked me today, what are you going to do? I go, you don't think she's noticed it? I go, she's noticed it. She just doesn't want to go there. And that's fine. What am I going to do? I can't force her to go there. Cat slept in her room every day. All of a sudden, he hasn't been around. She has not said a word.
Yeah.
It's weird how smart they are. But she's been talking about my mother a lot lately.
Really?
Yeah, the other day I was at the desk. She came into my office, looked at my mother's picture of me, and she goes, Dad, I got to clean that picture. And she took the picture, and I gave her a handy wipe. And then she goes, I got to do the frame, too. Your mother likes it when you do the frame. And I'm just looking at it going, God damn it. This is starting to catch up on her. So I don't know what she's put together. She knows her grandmother's dead, but she hasn't said shit about Harry in a fucking week.
Amy Schumer killed our hamster. Was a long
one
time
of her
ago.
movies?
No, with one of her movies. It was a long time ago. It was way before she was famous. We'd done a TV show together, and I always liked her, and she's a really sweet person. And Leanne and her got along, and my sisters got along with her, and it was like, she kind of looks like Georgia a little bit, blonde hair, and so Leanne would call her and say, hey, we're going out of town for the month. If you want our apartments open, we're going to go back to Georgia. Come out here, use our apartment. You Bert sisters are down the street, and all I ask is you watch the pets.
You still tight with Amy?
No, I haven't talked to her in 9 years.
Why?
I don't know. I think people get famous and they just.
Is that what it was? Was there a disagreement?
No.
This is a person that slept in your house.
Yeah.
Had a relationship with your wife.
Really, really close
Had a
with her.
relationship with your children and everything.
Boyfriend would come over. Her and her boyfriend would come over for dinner.
This is Anthony?
No, the one before that.
Okay.
And so we have this sick hamster you got to give a shot to. In order to give a shot to the hamster, you got to take its skin, pinch it. And that area you pinch, you put it in the pinched area. And so it doesn't. Anyway, Amy gives it a shot. And it hits it in the spine. And it dies. It leaves a note on the table. The girls can't read. Just note on the table. Hamster dead. Calls me. Hey, I think I fucking killed your hamster. I'm so sorry. We're like, no, it's totally fine. It's not. Is totally get it. It was a complicated hamster that had diabetes. You had to give it shots. We get it. It was not going to live forever. So we take the hamster down. We're living in an apartment. We could find a little patch of grass where we had buried other fish. So we go to bury the hamster, and we go. And Leanne, the girls are old enough, and Leanne says, it's time to say goodbye to Cinderella. And they go, where's Cinderella going? And we're like, oh, Cinderella's going to heaven. And they're like, wait, what's heaven? And we're like, well, Cinderella's died and she's going to heaven. And Isla goes, do I know anything else that's died? And Leanne goes, actually, yes. She goes, you remember our cat, Mufasa? And Isla goes, yeah. She goes, Mufasa died. And Georgia goes, wait. Mufasa's at the hospital with Grandpa. Leanne's like, oh, Grandpa's dead too. Girls go, wait, hold on. Was Grandma dead? Like, Grandma's dead. Everyone's dead. All these people that you thought were at the hospital, they're all fucking dead. And they melt down. They're like, how many things do we know that are dead? And we're like, a lot of things are dead, girls. And they had that realization. Yeah, Amy was. I used to be good friends with Amy.
And you met her back in New York in your Boston comedy.
We did a show together for
Comedy Central
called Reality Bites Back. Me, her, Tiffany Haddish, Theo Vaughn, Chris Fairbanks, Red Grant, Donnell Rollins, Mo Mandel, Kyle Cease, and who am I fucking forgetting? Jeff Garcia was in it. And then one more. There's one more that I'm forgetting. I apologize.
What was the show about?
It was. We took every episode. We did it was a reality show, but every episode parodied another reality show in a comedic way. So, like, remember the show You Think You Could Dance? So You Think You Could Dance? Well, we did So You Think You Could Dive. And so we did a diving competition that was like a mashup of the dancing. We did The Bachelor, but we did it with our moms. Like, it was like they'd parody everything. It was interesting because it paid a lot of money. I want to say it paid like $8,000 an episode or $10,000 an episode. And we all got excited. But then when we got there, we realized if you got kicked off, you no longer made the money per episode. So it got oddly competitive. So very quickly, like that very first episode, everyone stopped being friendly and started competing, except for like a handful of us. Like Donnell, Red, Amy, me, like a smaller group. I think Theo. None of us got competitive. We were all just chill. We were all hanging out. And she was great, man. I remember I was in Portland one weekend and she walked up on stage. She was doing a theater. She was doing like the big theater. I guess I'm doing it this weekend. But she came in and hopped up on stage with me. And then we ended up partying at the strip club next door, going back to my hotel room. Me, her, Mark Norman, my feature, a couple people we met at the club, Jeff Wills from Live Nation. And we all partied in my hotel room. And then I met her at the airport the next day. That was a Sunday night. We all met at the airport on Monday morning, and we drank at the airport, flew back to L.A. She was great, man. I think you just get so famous that I don't know. I really don't know. I just haven't talked to her.
To a guy like me, there's no explanation to it.
Yeah, but
if you broke bread with me at one time, listen, we can't be super tight.
Yeah.
But there's got to be that twice a year call. You know, in my world, even if it got that busy where your phone.
Yeah, but that's us. That's us. Like, none of us. I mean, think of how big Joe is. I texted with Joe all morning. Maybe 20 tweets, texts back and forth to each other. That's Joe. He's also got fucking Elon Musk on the podcast with fucking Kanye West. He's one of the biggest. But we all text to each other all nonstop. I think that's us now is different. You know, like.
No. This is
I don't know.
This is a story that I've heard 200 times from 200 different comics about 200 comics that have made it. That at one time they were tight, and one day the phone didn't start ringing.
Dude,
Robin Williams gave all his friends $5,000 and said, "Lose my number."
That blows me away when someone says, "You go, hey man, let me get your number. I'll give you a text." And they're like, "You know what? Call my assistant." And you're like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "I'm sorry,
assistant. I don't need to talk to you no more."
Yeah, I'm like, "No, man."
There's been people that I put on the podcast, and they've contacted me and said, "When can you do my podcast?" And I'll say tomorrow, and they'll go, "Okay, my assistant." And I'll go, "No, stop right there."
Yeah.
When I put you on my podcast, and they do not like it. People who have an assistant want their assistant to do everything. I can't stand that shit. I can't. It doesn't fly.
I only fuck with the comics. Like my friends, are guys I could call, and it's not uncomfortable. You know, if you make me feel uncomfortable about calling, I called Big J this morning because he got trapped in an elevator, and he has footage of it. Dude, Big J got caught in an elevator last night at SiriusXM for I don't know for how long, but I saw the Instagram post, and they had a camera filming the whole time, and it's with a bunch of strangers. And I texted Jagger, I need that whole footage. But like Bill Burr, I can call. I could just call him and be like, "Hey man, what are you doing tonight?" Like that. There are a couple guys that I know that aren't like that. And that's cool. But you're not gonna be my friend, you know. If anymore. I mean, maybe when I was younger and I thought I needed people to help me get forward in the business, you know. But I'm not like that. If you're my friend, you know where I live. You've probably been to my house. You've probably been to one of my parties. You've definitely seen me black out, and you've definitely gotten inappropriate text from me. You know,
it's crazy.
Probably the first friend I had in this business was Segura. I remember. Not to get like nostalgic, but when I had that falling out with that one comic, you know, that kind of we had a falling out, and I was doing the Death Squad Chronicles or Ice House Chronicles, and me and you were getting coffee all the time. And I remember one night I'm at the Ice House and I'm getting ready to go on stage. We had just done the Ice House Chronicles, and Tom had said to me, "Hey man, you need to like open up. Like, you know, Joey's a great guy, Ari's a great guy, Joe's a great guy. They're all trying to reach out to you and connect, but you're really distant." I had a thing where I was like, I didn't trust anyone at that point. I just didn't trust people. And I was like, I don't need friends. This is work. I don't need friends. This is work. And Joe came up to me at the Ice House. He had a shot of Jack and a beer and 2 beers, 2 shots of Jack and 2 beers. I'm getting ready to go on stage. I just got high. I'm a little buzzed. And he gives me the shot and he goes, hey, you're a really good guy and we're all trying to be your friend. And I was like, cool. I'm just shut off. I'm like, cool. And he goes, no, I don't think you're hearing me. Like, we're all trying to be your friend and you just let us be your friend. You know, we could all be friends. And I was like, okay. And he goes, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, me, Joey, Ari, Tommy, we're all trying to be your friend. Let us be your friend.
Up,
yeah, lighten up. And I was, and everyone knew that I was shut off. You knew it because you were like, hey, we're having coffee every day for every morning for a month. As long as you're in town, every morning we meet for coffee. I took that shot. I got in my Uber to go home that night, and I really thought about it driving back from Pasadena. I go, you're a little high on that ride because you're buzzed. And I was like, I don't really have, even Tom wasn't my friend anymore. I had shut everyone off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable and let people be my friend. And you were the very first one where I told you I was now going to therapy, and you're like, fuck that cocksucker. Every morning, Maria, see me and you hung out every single morning for the entire month of October, leading up to November 3rd. So on November 3rd, I had a birthday party that you guys all came to. I was turning 40. I was 39 years old. And every morning we had coffee. And I was like, and I remember someone saying I was leaving because all the parents from our school were there. And they go, who are you with? They go, oh, that's my friend, Joey. And then I was like, I just called someone my friend. And then Joe's like, hey, why don't you come out to my daughter's birthday? I came out there. Tommy's like, hey, man, we need to start hanging out more. And I was like, yeah. And then Ari's like, hey, we should do a trip together. And Leanne's like, you need that. And all of a sudden, I just opened myself up to having friends. Dude, it changed my life. It changed my life entirely. And so when I look at things, like when I look with Amy, I don't have anything negative to say about her. I'm not mad at her. But like, I don't know. I'm not probably ever going to be her friend, because I look at it and I go, I want people that we're cool for good. Like, I can fuck up and you're still going to like me. I can say the wrong thing and you're not going to like judge me. I've said fucking horrific shit to Bill Burr where he just goes, that's Bert. It's so funny. I guess you get older in this business and you go, like, Big J texted me, not to out Big J, like a year ago, he texted me, he goes, I'm so glad we're becoming friends. Like, it really means a lot. I think you're a really funny guy and you're fun to be around. Dude, last time I flew into New York, I was supposed to fly in Monday, and Big J texted me, he goes, hey, if you fly in Sunday, we go to my buddy Wayne's house and we watch internet videos and just get high if you want. And I was like, I'm flying in Sunday. I'm going to hang out with Big J. And it was fucking beautiful. It's the best thing, man. It's so nice. Do you remember the time, one of my favorite memories of you ever? Do you remember the time, it was a fall night, it was a fall evening. You guys Mercy was maybe like 1, maybe 2. And you called me up, you're like, what are you doing? I said, I'm sitting in my front yard with the girls having a glass of wine. You go, I'll be over in 5. You and Terry came over with Mercy. Me and you sat in those Adirondacks and all the girls played on blankets. I smoked a cigar and we had a glass of wine and it was like, fuck yeah, I'm so glad I have friends. It's fucking so meaningful.
Listen, there's acquaintances, there's friends, then you have your brothers, then you have your comedy brothers.
Yeah.
Your comedy brothers are very important.
Yeah.
You can't turn on them. You can't have any animosity towards them. You really have to be happy for them. And you're not going to have 20 of them. You're not going to have 20 of them. You're lucky if you have 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's like I told you when you came in before the podcast, I told you in front of your father. I looked at you too and I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Just a little concerned. I know you're going to make money. You're not going to make money. That's not my concern. My concern are those 2 little girls at your house.
Yeah.
You follow me? I want you to think big picture. Everything is big picture. You need that in comedy. Myself and Joe Rogan, nothing bothers me more when people ask me for something for Joe Rogan.
Ugh.
Because they do not understand the reason why we've stayed friends is because I've never gone over that line. There's a line in Hollywood, and since people do it to us all the time, when one of our own try to do it to us, it cuts like a knife.
Yeah.
I had a situation last week where I contacted somebody and I said, I want to do something. And next thing you know, I'm headlining their show. And I'm like, I was doing it for free. And you put my picture on the thing. Can't do that. You can't treachery the people around you. You have to be friend. Comedy needs that. You need that with comedy. You have to be able to call me on Saturday and go, hey, man, can I talk to you about something? I'm at this club with this manager, and he told me last night I didn't sell out, but the whole back people were standing. And, you need that.
Yeah.
I had Ralphie for years.
Oh, yeah. Ralphie
Every
was a great guy.
Saturday, no matter where he was, I got a call from Ralphie at 8 o'clock, wherever he was. And we talked for 10, 15 minutes, and that was my therapy for the week. I knew I couldn't have him any more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, Ralphie got huge. He never threw me out to the dogs.
No, Ralphie, as big as Ralphie got, man.
Big as Ralphie got.
He called me up, I just made some barbecue sauce, player. Why don't we get the families together? Just come over, an hour late. Look at Ralphie.
He paid for Mercy's crib. I still remember calling him one time with a flat tire. Just going, I just don't have the $30, Ralph.
Yeah.
And he goes, where are you? And I go, I'm over here. And he goes, sit tight. And next thing you know, a tow truck came, took it to Firestone. And when I picked it up, there was 4 new tires. And he did an alignment. He was like in Alabama.
Yeah.
And he never mentioned it to anybody. He didn't say it on the podcast. He didn't embarrass me. That's what comedy friends do, especially when one lifts. One of us is always going to lift. One of us is doomed to be Kevin Hart. And I say doomed. I say doomed. One of us is going to be doomed to be Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
One of us might be doomed to be Louis C.K. I'm not talking about sexual references or anything. I'm talking about a comic with a target on your back.
That's what happens.
There's a difference between being a comic and there's a difference between being a comic with a target on your back.
Man, I don't think anyone's had a big, maybe Louis' target right now, but Amy's target was
gigantic.
Massive.
Carlos Mencias was huge. The only comic who made it out alive was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one that went out to the sunset, still making $53 million a year, still doing what he does every year. But when you have that, it's like being the mob boss. You're a mob boss.
Yeah.
No matter what Lee does, you're responsible for it. When you have that target on your back, I never got into this business to have that target on my back.
I'll be very comfortable staying right under the radar.
Right where.
Let me do theaters this size for like 2 more years. I'll be cool. And if I go back to clubs, I'm very cool with that.
That's why I said to you about the garden.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about it that way.
I'm thinking about the whole experience. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter where we sit, Lee, because we're going to be watching him on the monitor. Yeah. I don't like that sentence.
Yeah.
I don't like that sentence. Mm-mm. Those tickets are $160. I'm not talking about Sebastian. I'm talking about anybody in general. I wish only the best for Sebastian. I always think of that brick wall. That's what comedy's about.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, we tricked it. The agents tricked it. It became more about money. Again, the reason why you became a comic job, Bert, was not to have a day job. When you go on these long tours, it becomes, I never want you for it to be a job. I tell that to comics, keep your fucking nut low, because someday your numbers are going to go low. Now you're going to have to go out.
Yeah.
There's a big difference than going out and having to go out. When I have to go out, I saw it with Bobby Slayton, with that big house in the mountain. It went from him going out and having a great time and drinking to going out to keeping the lights on in the house. That's not good. That's a job. So it's always great to have friends and comic friends. I want the friends I have. I like Joe because Joe told me when I'm slipping. I do the same for Joe.
Yeah.
Joe and I come from two different backgrounds. We both have the same passion for stand-up. That's why me and Joe are friends, because we both respect it. We respect it. I've learned, how much have we learned from Joe? How lucky are we to have a guy like Joe?
Yeah.
I was the one that told him about Sunday. I remember when he had the baby, and I said to him, that Sunday shit ain't going to work. Fuck you. I'll do. Pew! Because there's nothing like fucking family dinner on Sunday. And I started doing it when I was dating Terry. Remember, the first 3 years I dated Terry, I'd come back New Year's Eve, and then I'd do the Comedy Store, and I'd see her that night. And then a week later, I was back on the road again. with no whatever. Who cares when I was coming home? And one day I got home, I think 3 or 4 years into it. I worked with Rocky Laporte in Dallas. And that Sunday was the longest Sunday of my life. That whole week was just a long fucking week working with that guy, telling me what to say and what not to say, how to say it. And then Sunday came, and I never forget waking up that Sunday going, that Monday morning, and going, this is the last Sunday I ever work again. And I've never worked a Sunday since. And I was a feature act. When I made up my mind.
Oh.
And before the podcast world started getting big, the Funny Bones called me and made me an offer. Wednesday through Sunday, $1,500, no plane ticket. And I remember calling them back and going, I'll do all the weeks, but you got to omit Sunday. And they go, well, then we'll give you $1,200. I go, well, after the $400 plane ticket, I'm walking with $8. And I ain't selling T-shirts. You think I'm going to sit back there with the fucking glasses? No. And I said, no, I'd rather not work. You know, you have to stick to your decisions in this business. And once you go back, I don't even know how we got in this conversation. It really don't matter. I'm getting the tail end of the reefer. Let's wrap this motherfucker up. When does the world tour start?
Starts tomorrow in Portland.
And it ends June 29th in fucking Siberia.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get it to end in Moscow.
Really?
Yeah.
And what happened?
It's really hard to do business in Russia.
Really?
Yeah, it's really hard. I was like, yeah, do it in Moscow. Get a bunch of people to fly out, do a small club.
So you're going to end in Brisbane. You're going to have a huge audience from 10th Planet in Brisbane because the Barkers live there.
Yes.
So I'll let Frankie Barker know you're coming. They'll bring you some fucking reefer.
Yep.
They'll take good care of you. You're doing Minneapolis. You got Green Bay.
I got Toronto,
Denver,
Ottawa,
City,
Indianapolis.
Red Bank, New Jersey. Look at you. You sold out the first one. Philadelphia. Where you at in Philly?
I'm in Keswick, I think. Keswick, just outside Philly.
You're doing Nantucket?
No, I don't think so.
Nashville,
Carolinas.
Maybe that's Foxwoods, Mashantucket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Doing Foxwoods.
Boston, Charlotte, North Carolina. Listen, go to a fucking Bert.com. Is that it?
Bert.com.
Okay. Bert.com. That's what your wife says. Bert.com.
Yeah, all those first shows sold out, but there's tickets available for most of the second shows. So
I'm happy you came out today, bro.
I love you, Joey.
Nothing but luck. I'm at the Brea Improv January 24th through the 26th. That's all I got in January. Then February, I got one night in Treasure Island in Vegas, the 22nd. The 23rd, I'm at the Fox Theater, I think, in Tucson. And Valentine's Day, I'll see you cocksuckers up in San Jose at Original Motherfucking Joe's like a doctor. All right, I want to thank Bert Kreischer. I want to thank the Christ Killer. But most importantly, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support that you give us. Don't forget, I'll be at the Brea Improv January 24th through the 26th. I've put up my 56 and still slinging dick poster up. A lot of you guys are getting tickets. Thank you very much for the support. But don't forget, the Church of What's Happening Now also has support. And one of those companies is Robinhood. And I love them. My wife loves them. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission free. They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just for the wealthy. Simple and intuitive with a clear design, with data presented in an easy-to-digest way. Like I told you, my wife signed up for Robinhood, and she thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread, all right? There's no commission fees. There's no cost. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge nothing. Ugats. You trade stocks, and you keep all the profits. It's easy to understand charts and market data. Place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. 4 taps. Robinhood web platform also lets you view stock collections, the 100 most popular sectors of entertainment and social media, and curated categories like female CEOs and analyst ratings of buy, hold, and sell for every stock. Listen, you're sitting there going, Uncle Joey, I don't know nothing about this. Well, you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to invest as you build your portfolio. That's why Uncle Joey's here. I didn't have a portfolio when I was 20 or 30. You could do something different about it and start now. With Church, go to church.robinhood.com. You discover new stocks and you track favorite companies with personalized newsfeed. custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right move. You guys know timing is everything. So what I'm going to do is this. Robinhood is giving the church family free stock like Apple, Ford, Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at church.robinhood.com. That's church.robinhood.com. Listen, I ain't going to fucking tell you people again. The NFL playoffs are here, motherfuckers. College basketball is here. Hockey's here. I mean, there's so much to bet on. I got 2 cockroaches in the alley that are going off in fucking 5 minutes. Listen, it's time to get in on the action with my bookie. Don't be that guy sitting around like a fucking mook while your friends and family are dipping fucking onion dip, potato chip, putting money in their pocket. Not this year. It's Super Bowl 53, and it's right around the corner, I think on February 4th. You can start making money now, so by the time Super Bowl comes, your bankroll is fucking on fire. You understand me? And you can bang the house, and you can fucking not do nothing the whole month of March. Just smoke cigarettes and have little midgets come over and suck your dick. Make sure you're ready for the daily action by signing up at MyBookie today. They pay fast when you win. Ownership really cares about good customer service, and they offer the craziest props. Where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. And if you want to make money during the bowl season, you got to go to MyBookie. I trust them. But you don't have to take my word for it. Check them out for yourself. What I'm going to do is this. Join today, right now, and MyBookie will offer you 50% deposit bonus to make sure you got a nice little bankroll to start the bowl season. You understand me? Use promo code CHURCH, CHURCH, when you deposit to activate the offer. That's promo code CHURCH. Listen, go with MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid like a motherfucker. Another sponsor I want to thank is 23andMe. 23, almost everybody is born with the ability listen, forget all that stuff. We now live in a world where we have access to data, and they give us more personal insights on who we are, where we are, and where we came from. I mean, little things like how we sleep and how many steps we take a day. Shouldn't our health resolutions be customized also? 23andMe allows you to go beyond the ancestry to access more personalized insights based on your DNA, from health predispositions to lifestyle choices. With the 23andMe Health and Ancestry Kit, you get over 90 reports on your health, traits, ancestry, and more. Reports include lactose tolerance, caffeine consumption, muscle composition, genetic weight report. I mean, listen, I did it. I found out I was from the upper top of Spain. I'm West Bank, Africa. I got a little Jewish in me. I got a little Chinese in me. You know, this is interesting stuff. Okay, you can meet relatives on there. You can see who your cousins are through a timeline. 23andMe has it all. What I'm going to do is this. Buy your 23andMe Health Ancestry Kit today at 23andme.com/church. That's number 23andme.com/church. Again, that's 23andme.com/church. I want to thank 23andMe. I want to thank Robinhood. And I want to thank MyBookie for having our back and always being there for us. And most importantly, you guys, I love you with all my heart. It's a pleasure and an honor to be able to come here twice a week and talk to you fucking savages like I am your uncle. Because in reality, I'm the best fucking uncle you got. Again, I want to thank Bert. I want to thank the Christ killer, my main man, Syatt, who fucking destroyed last night in the Comedy Store. I want to give him his props. Garnet even fucking hit me up this morning and said Lee did very fucking well. He went to the store just to see Lee, so I want to congratulate him. But most importantly, I want to thank you guys for always having our backs, supporting my tours, and listening to the podcast. You know I'm sincere, and I mean it from the heart. Without you guys, I got who got. So do me a favor. Enjoy the podcast. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning, tip-top Magoo, ready to fucking go, all right? Kick this fucking mule, Lee.